And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? Destiny podcast time. Hello, chat. How's everybody? Okay. Let me make sure that I don't have Kingsley muted again this time. There we go. I think we should be ready here. Should be good to go.
It's born ready.
Let's do it. All right. All right. See you, zombie. Take care, buddy. All right. Here we go. 3, 2. What's up, Guardian? Welcome to episode 326 of Guardian Downcast. I'm your host, Todd the Gator, and I'm a Day One Guardian who loves gaming, especially the Destiny franchise. We're the podcast that's all about your stories, your community, and your destiny. For those of you who may just discovered our podcast, we're a weekly gaming show with an emphasis on the Destiny franchise, but we like to talk about other things as well relating to our hobby. For those of you listening right now on the podcast platforms out there and want to check out our live shows, just go to Todd the Gator. That's TODDTHEGATR on YouTube and Twitch. And if you want to check in on our Discord community, we have a live stage where people can pop in as well and say hello. And there's a chat there as well if you want to touch base with us. But you can listen in, or you can actually see our faces. That's up to you. Fair warning. We also have a replay of tonight's show on my YouTube and Twitch as well. So if you didn't make the live show, don't worry. We have a replay usually within 24 to 48 hours. So it's always really nice. Or you can go to our website, guardiandowncast.com, to listen to any of our episodes in whatever order you like. I have my co-host from the great state of Utah, Mr. Kingsley Mack, back with us again. How's it going, Mike?
Good. Glad to be here once again.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. This week, it's a regular co-hosted show, and we have a lot to talk about this week. First, we're going to catch up with our week, and I have one movie review to share tonight. We will also talk about our experiences getting a completion in the new Desert Perpetual raid. Finally got a completion in. Bungie put out a new patch for the game, and we'll share our thoughts on it. Next, Kingsley Mack and I will go over this week in Destiny, and I'm sure we do have some stuff to talk about as well. I think we're talking about the new Festival of Lost activity tonight. Then it's time for our topic of the week. This is a topic that was actually inspired by a new game that I started playing this week. I'll explain later in the show what that means, but if there's any questions from our community, we'll be sure to answer those later in the show as well. So if you do have a question, you're sitting in chat there and you want us to read your question on the show live, you can either enter it in the chat, or you can go to our Discord. That's discord.gg/Guardian Downcast, and go to our podcast questions channel and enter it right there, and we'll see it immediately and might read it out on the show live. So we do have our question of the week that I posted for this week. Just kind of a gut check with our community, just see where everybody is in Destiny right now, because we have a wide variety of different types of Destiny players out there, and I'm just curious where everybody fell right at this point in time. But we do have a lot to talk about tonight, so if everyone's ready, let's roll. Well, Kingsley, before we get into whatever's coming up in the TWAB, let's catch up, man. What have you been doing this week? I know are you playing a lot of Ghost of Yotai? Have you got a completion yet? Are you almost through the story, or?
Okay, I'll start with that.
Sorry, I know you write notes, and I just throw them down the tube, don't I? Sorry about that, brother.
No, it's fair, because it kind of passes off the conversation.
Yeah, I'm trying to transition. I'm trying to get better at that stuff.
Ghost of Yotai is amazing. No, I don't have a completion yet. It's a huge game, and I've been putting in a lot of hours. And now, again, I tend to keep games on and walk away and stuff, especially on PlayStation, a single player game too. It's like even easier to do that. You can kind of just like go to the menus and it pauses everything. It's not like people are like shooting you or hitting you when you're paused in the menus. So you can kind of like walk away or whatever. And so I don't really have much of a point for quitting games unless it's going to be switching to another game or something.
Yeah.
But still, I have put a lot of hours into it. And if I had to guess, it seems like I'm in the last zone and maybe 80% done.
Oh.
But these zones are already very big. And so it could be a lot more hours still. But no, I have put in a lot of hours so far. So it's not surprising being almost 80% done. Like I would say like I don't know. I'd be scared to look, but I'm nothing like 20 or 30, like way, 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 way more. You
Okay.
know.
All right.
So the game has a lot of enjoyment there. Yeah, so lots of fun, and boy, it'll be a little sad when that one's done, but no worries because I have a lot of other games on my list also of things I still want to check out and see and do.
Okay.
Now, tonight I am listening live and using my new AirPods Pro 3. Anyone
Yeah.
in the video chat can see right here. And
Ooh. Those are
I know AirPods
the
Pro are
those are the pros, right?
the Pro. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to go. Well, you don't have to, like, or whatever, but like, I know that some people are like, oh, they're so expensive or whatever, but like, and yes, they're 250 base price if you can't get them on sale, or whatever. But these are amazing things. Like people have done, they've gotten better all the time, and actual like sound engineers and musicians have done audio sampling and tests on these, and the sound quality that you can get out of these
Mm.
are freaking amazing. The soundstage is huge. They've improved the bass response, and
Ooh.
even the mid range is also in this latest model. I had the twos before, and they're already pretty darn good. But the threes have made some great improvements with better fits, more foam tip selections, a better microphone, better sound stage quality, like I said, twice as good noise reduction as always, already really good noise reduction. A couple other things the AirPods Pro can do, um, in case people aren't aware, is they can do a hearing test,
Yep.
and then they can also act as a hearing aid if you need,
We've
like
tried that.
literally like a hearing aid.
Yeah.
So when you're talking then 250, like that's a good price because people
Oh yeah.
like legit hearing aid. Now, if you have severe hearing loss, AirPods Pro won't work, but
Yeah.
the fact that they can be a hearing aid also, that alone is worth like the cost. So what you do is you put them in your ears, you do a hearing test, and they do all the BP sounds. Like it's actually certified, like
Yeah.
audiology certified, and they'll do all the tones. It takes like 5 minutes in each ear, and you kind of like tap when you hear things and stuff, and it'll tell you exactly what your decibel hearing amount is. And if you do have some mild to moderate hearing loss, then if you want, you can keep them in your ears as you walk around, and they will amplify because they can work as noise reduction or transparency mode. So if you have them on transparency mode,
Yep.
they will actually take people talking sounds from the real world and be a hearing aid, and then
Yeah.
help you hear better.
We actually my wife bought some AirPod Pro 2s for my mother-in-law who's wearing hearing aids, and she never could get them tuned in right. And we said, "What the heck? Let's try it," and she couldn't keep them in her ear. She never wore them, and it was a
Yeah.
bust. But my wife got a nice set of nice pair of twos now.
Yeah.
So, and she's like, "Oh my God, these are the best." I said, "Honey, this is all I work in." Now, you know what? You know another benefit that you didn't mention? Did you know that the Apple AirPod Pro 2s can protect your hearing? I'm around loud
Yeah.
equipment.
I was going to,
Oh,
no, I was
did
going to
I
mention
cut you
that
off?
too.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. That is a huge benefit too. In fact, a lot of, yes, equipment, like you were probably going to say, also
Yeah.
going to like a concert or something, it's
Oh, yeah.
actually recommended
Really?
to go with AirPods in your ear in
Oh.
transparency mode.
Uh-huh.
You can hear, they work so good at transparency mode. It's as if you didn't have anything in your ears. But what they will do is they will literally dampen the sound so you won't get hearing loss from like loud
So
concerts
good.
or, like you said, equipment or whatever.
Yeah.
So they are amazing things.
I use I pretty much use I use a transparency mode when I drive, but I wear them all day. I have actually 3 sets because I go through them so quick. And one set I dropped on the ground and it cracked the little tip on them. And once those are cracked, I
Yeah.
tried to glue it back. It's just not the same. None of it functions the right.
If you like them that much, so like you're kind of like me, and I know it's another 250 to drop or whatever, look for them on
Yeah.
sale, but like I think it's really worth the upgrade. It's a huge upgrade.
I
for the
didn't know they were
30s.
out yet, so I'm definitely getting a set because
Yeah.
see, I've got a
Yeah.
personal set. I just bought actually a pair of 2s for like 175. They were, I guess they knew they was the last year, they were phasing them out to go to the 3s, and they didn't have them. I got them from Amazon. They didn't have them, and I had to wait a while, but they finally did ship them. It was from a private seller or like those third party sellers, and yeah, they're brand new. They're not refurbished or anything. They're brand new. It's just like the Apple box, and I use those for my personal ones because I have tinnitus. And I usually put them in my I usually put them in my ears when I go to sleep, and then I'll put music on or white noise or whatever, and I'll put a countdown timer on my phone for like an hour and a half. I'll be asleep by then, and they'll shut off. And then once I realize they're shut off, I'll pull them out and set them on my dresser. But
they even added another feature. I think they're only in the threes, because also the threes can also do heart rate detection. So like,
I
if
heard
you're
about
working
that.
out, it'll also check your heart rate.
Yeah.
But because of the heart rate detection, now they can also detect if you're falling asleep. So you don't have to do a timer anymore. They'll stop playing if they know you're falling asleep.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I mean,
I'm
I already have
the technology we have these days.
I already have an Apple Watch, and it already monitors my sleep and everything. And I was going to get that Oura ring. Like, my wife has an Oura ring, but I'm like, I don't need it, because the Apple Watch does a great job monitoring your deep sleep and stuff. Yeah, technology's great, man, isn't it? It's just awesome. I'll probably go ahead and get a set, because maybe for my personal use, because I tell you, the thing I noticed, if you play music on a third party, like Spotify or something, it sounds good. They sound really good, but there's some special tuning if you use Apple Music to play your music. It's like you're right there sitting in front of them at the studio. I can't explain it. The sound is so filtered. I mean, it literally is fully surrounding you, and it's so good, man. It's so good. So,
but they're good with Spotify too, as long as you're listening. The main thing is you want to listen through an iPhone or a Mac computer, because they have, if you pair them to like a PC or like an Android phone, they'll do regular Bluetooth, and regular Bluetooth doesn't have the same audio quality bandwidth. But when they pair to an iPhone or a Mac, they have the full M chip bandwidth, so that music quality is better. And yes, you're right, Apple Music does some additional tuning. I'm telling you, Spotify, YouTube sounds really good in them too. On an iPhone. Like,
very nice.
Things are really good.
That's awesome, man. I didn't know they were out yet. They were on my wish list, so good to know.
Oh yeah, they're. And while we're on the Apple topic, I don't know if you heard, but Apple's streaming service officially changed its name, and it changed its name to what you and many people called it anyways. Now, do you remember what its official name is?
What are we calling it? Apple TV? Apple TV Plus?
It was officially called Apple TV Plus, but a lot of people would just say Apple TV. Well, they dropped the plus.
Thank God.
So now it's just called Apple TV.
I remember I had to write that in my notes, and plus signs are a pain in the butt when you're typing up notes. But good to know. Yeah,
I think they're going to set a precedence here. I could see Disney dropping the plus, Paramount dropping the plus.
Yeah. Well, did you hear that news?
Why have the plus?
Peacock now is coming up with a bundling plan with Apple. It's very, very soon.
Oh yeah, there's bundling. Yeah, I did see that. There's a lot of bundling things going on too. Of course, Peacock never had Plus, right? It was just Peacock TV.
Just Peacock TV or whatever. Peacock whatever.
But but I think it's smart. The only thing that's confusing, there's actually an Apple TV box also that you can plug into your TV. It's like a Roku type thing.
Yeah.
That's called an Apple TV, and then the streaming service is called Apple TV. So it's a little confusing.
It is.
That's why they had the Plus before.
Oh, I see. Service, I see. Because people buy actual Apple TVs.
Yeah, an actual Apple TV is the box, but I still think it was a good idea, because everyone was just calling the streaming service Apple TV anyways. So it's like, take off the Plus, why not?
Yeah, cool deal. Yeah, nice to know. Good update.
Yeah, that's basically what I have to talk about. Like gaming, I might talk about a little bit more if it comes up in conversations. But of course, we'll talk about raid stuff.
Yeah.
And I already covered the movie, so I'm curious to hear yours. So
yeah, definitely. First gaming. This week Bungie put out a new patch for the game with some quality of life changes. First, they gave you a catch-up chest. I had my two alt characters were like in the 200s, so it was nice. They could come in and immediately be 300, and they even warn you. They say, hey, you're going to now be thrust into master, portal activity. So keep that in mind. This is what's involved. There's different mechanics and stuff, which was kind of good that they let people know that. I think everybody probably opted in to get the 300 power just to speed up things, but that was nice. And for people who were already like for something like I am, you got a nice little jump. You got a full set of armor with a nice little jump. I think +3 stuff, and a couple weapons there too. You could add to it that were high power or powerful drops. So it was nice. It was very nice. It was a good thing. I think it was due. I think Bungie needed to do it, and The arms week last week with the shotguns. I mean, I really didn't do a whole lot. I heard about the crazy mods and stuff you could get, but they only lasted the week. You know, I can imagine if these were seasonal mods that disappeared when Renegades showed up, then I probably would have been more invested in it. But it is nice having those 777,777 unstable cores now. So it's not even, you don't even think about it whenever you're wanting to bring something from power level 10 all the way up to 435, which I think is what I'm at now. So that was nice. We did finally complete all 4 counters of the Desert Perpetual raid this past weekend. Shout out to Ronan Red Lion, Allocate, Zombie Pops, yourself, of course, and myself. Am I forgetting anybody? That was it, right?
And are we doing review later or
no? Let's talk about it now because
it'll take some time if that's okay.
That's fine with me because later on we'll be talking about something different, and the TWAB will go pretty quick because it's about the seasonal activity coming up. But
yeah, you can finish up what you're saying. And
we did finally get it. I mean, it's kind of funny. We fought through it on Saturday night like we normally do, our usual Saturday, and we got to the final boss. We got a few runs in, and we were just cooked. It was just late. We're starting to fade. I was forgetting my assignment or forgetting what to do, and so we decided to go ahead and take a break, take the rest of the night off, and then come back the following day on Sunday. I think it was a Sunday afternoon. I can't remember. I think it was like late afternoon because Ronan had another raid or dungeon he was doing. So we jumped in like 3 or 4 o'clock, something like that. And the first try, knocked the boss right out. We already knew the mechanics. We just were so burned out from racking
everyone.
Okay. Some of us on the team were a little exhausted that night, and we got in there and everyone communicated perfectly. I streamed it. It's on my YouTube channel if you want to watch it. It's just the end boss by itself in a 1 hour stream. It didn't take long. 26-minute stream, I think. It didn't take long at all. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm curious what now that we've got a full clear under our belt, Kingsley, what do you think about this raid, man? Where do you rate this?
Yeah,
and then the other raids out there.
Just wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Absolutely.
It was fun to get it done. And I've definitely taken a step back the last year or two from being like a hardcore raider and being more of a Sherpa all the time to just being a Sherpa when needed and or just joining teams that seem chill and fun and stuff. And so it was nice just to back up for a second, when someone came up with the idea to have a fresh group and try this raid and see if we can get it clear. And I haven't literally done that for a long time with a full group.
Yep.
Like a lot of times people will get, and even people like me for the last several raids, but I'll get it a lot sooner than other people in the community. But like I've always said before, at best, and I'm a little less these days, but at best I've always been a B+ to an A- raider. But what would happen is, like for the last few raids, is I would get my first clear with a group that was pretty good, like more like the A tier group, the hardcore raiders, and then some other people like friends of like Sin or whoever, kind of similar thing. And then, but very shortly after that, like a week or so after that, we would feel comfortable enough, and then we could start running it together with kind of like our normal crew that we would like, and then start helping out others. But I can't think of the last time. Maybe like I think there was one other, but Last Wish I remember for sure having a full crew that was the same from the original when we tried all the way, however many times it took us to get it done. And so it was nice to have that experience again. And we'll have to remember, we can now look at Raid Report and see. I mean, we'll know everyone in our crew.
Yeah.
We're still running stuff, but it's fun to run with. You, of course, Zombie, Allocate. It was Taja first, then it was Ronan
took over,
So, yep.
Sin, that's who I forgot. Poor Sin. Sorry, brother. I'm sorry, Sin. He was over there in the corner doing his Titan thing, just killing everything that moved. Yeah. I just
a fun raid.
Just to add to your point, that this was the very first time I've actually had a raid crew were actually, like you said, started from the beginning and learned the raid all together, all the same people.
with everyone at the
Yeah,
same
first
time.
time
Yeah.
I've ever done that, because in the past I would jump around from team to team where they needed someone to fill in, and you eventually you'd find someone who was sherping it, and you would learn. They would teach you the right things to do, but we actually learned everything ourselves and just got our reps in, man. And that's what it's all about, right? Just getting your reps in, just getting it down. So, but
Well, yeah,
yeah,
and everyone has different amounts of how many reps they need compared to other people. In my
true.
opinion, it's just saying getting reps is a little vague. Like everyone has
Yeah,
different things that helps them out. I'm always really good at, like, to me, picking up mechanics is super easy. But what's important for me to do well in a raid is learn enemy spawns and have weapons and abilities that will take them down really fast. Because I've said this a million times before. A lot of people think like, oh, I'm dying in a raid, I need to have better damage resistance and stuff. Yeah, you do want that. However, the best way to stay alive is to kill the ads quicker. Because
right.
if you can kill the ads quicker, then you're also not dying, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
don't just rely on having great damage resistance. Also learn the spawns and have things that you can use to take them down immediately once they start, you know what I mean, showing up and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
And so it was really fun learning that again, feeling challenged. Let me just go through. Okay, just step back real quick.
yeah. Go for it.
Amazing Braid. I don't know that I would give it number one spot, but at least number two spot. Things kind of change. You could say there's recency biased. However, I don't always give the newest raids the highest on the list. Like I never liked Root of Nightmares raid. That was always lower on the list, even when it first
And
came
it
out.
had,
So I don't
yeah,
always give new raids highest
always
status.
had that stupid
You
bug
know?
too in that middle encounter where you get shot 3 floors above where you're supposed to be. That bugged me,
Well,
man.
there's ways to get around that for the most part.
Yeah,
If you rated enough, you could see ways to
yeah,
kind of get around that. But anyways, it was just the mechanics in that raid were lame to me, and only the planets room was fun. But let's
yeah. Planet
focus more
moves.
on this. I mean,
Sorry. Yeah,
raid is amazing. It reminded me a lot of Garden Raid, which is one of my favorite raids because of all the Vex in it, and some of the encounters had fun mechanics that also remind me of that. And if anyone doesn't remember, this raid has 3 encounters and a boss, but you can pick the first 3 encounters any order you want.
I love
And
that part.
so what we did was kind of considered from easiest to hardest, although some teams would have differences of opinions. But let's just go with the first encounter that we liked was the Wyvern encounter, and that's called a Living Rhythm. And this one really, like, it looks like a garden cave, like you're even jumping
Mhm.
on the lily pads, to
Yeah, that's
to
right.
get there and get out and stuff. And basically you have a team that's just running around depositing things. You have another team that's has to shoot things at the same time, and then you have a fun person, which was you in this case, jumping up platforms and interacting
Yeah.
with things. And we all have to play in orchestration.
Hmm.
Don't worry, I'm not going to go too long on all these encounters.
No, that's all right.
And then eventually it's a big wyvern that you take down. As far as this actual encounter, it's probably my least favorite mechanically. Nothing wrong with it. I like it a lot, but
Yeah.
to me, 3 people shooting a block at the same time just seems kind of gimmicky. Now that's not knocking it at any means, but like, and of course you were doing a cool job
I
and
was gonna
stuff. But
say my
like,
part was
I
fun.
love, I loved how it looked and
Yeah,
everything. It's a
yeah,
cool encounter.
yeah. Climbing those
Then
platforms
what
was
we did
fun.
next, yeah. Then what we did next is my favorite encounter, the Hydra.
Yes.
And yeah, the Hydra encounter, I just love. It's a small, tight arena. It's very symmetrical thing. Lots of ads in the middle area, fun mechanics, and everyone has to do well. Not everyone actually. 2 people can be ad control,
Yeah.
send back you up, of course, and then
Yep.
the other person. But actually everyone does have to do mechanics during the boss part. You have to
Yeah,
run
but
around and
just
shoot
to
the eyes.
the people who did ad control, it was really crucial because Kate and I couldn't do our job if we had ads shooting at
Oh,
us.
sure.
So it
Yeah.
took so much pressure off of us, and we're trying to concentrate on which call outs to call across to each other. And if Sin and
Yeah.
Zombie weren't there to clean out ads, it'd be
Oh, of
much more
course.
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would
But
consider that a
also
role.
the amount of ads that are in the outside area are probably 3 times as much the amount of ads that are in the caves.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I it was like when I was first doing it, I'm like, oh, this reminds me of like a master raid. Like it was, and
Oh
then it
yeah,
got pretty easy over time. But
yeah,
I had to be on point taking down the ads.
yeah.
And Tajo probably realized that, and also Ronan. Shout out to I think Zombie did that position once when we had a
Hmm.
different crew. Like
Right,
anyone will admit, the outside ad, you have to be on point for that.
right.
Great fun encounter. I mean, a little bit of people you doing well, a lot of you guys doing mechanics in the side rooms, but then it switches to us in the outside part doing a little bit of mechanics.
Yeah,
Then it switches back to you guys doing mechanics again. And then for the boss, we all have to like do some mini mechanics. It calls on all six people eventually. So
yeah. I like how it integrates
really,
where
really
in the
cool
middle where
experience.
everyone had to come together, and then it
Mhm.
would just do random call outs where people had to run around and shoot the eyes to continue,
Yeah.
you know, to stretch the DPS phase of the thing. And I thought it was
Yeah.
very well balanced. You know, it wasn't
So you
overly.
like that one too? Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite encounters because just the call outs and stuff. You know, you have like you get a little camaraderie with your other side room teammate. You know, and you tend to be in
Mhm.
cahoots. You know, and I like that part of it. So that
Yeah.
that's probably well, that's probably my favorite part of the raid is the
That's
Hydra.
my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, the Hydra
Mhm.
experience. Yeah. So there's
Yep.
another phase too that we go
Yeah.
ahead. I
And then
guess we need to talk about it. It's a
that one's called Clear Sight, but
yeah,
we just call it generally like a living rhythm is the Wyvern boss, Clear Sight's the Hydra boss, and
right.
then the third one that we did is called Inverse Flexion, but the Hobgoblin boss is what we call it. And for a lot of crews, this would be considered probably one of the hardest mechanics, and it makes sense because there's so much going on where not just do three-ish people. Now, I do want to say the other three people had a pretty important mechanic too, having to do things. See, this is always what I love about raids. Like the three people that seem like the harder parts that have mechanics, we have more to do. But then when the other people have to do things, they have to do it faster than us. So
Yeah.
even though they have less things to do, they're on catch two for doing things really well. But the main thing about this encounter is the arena is a lot bigger, a lot of ads. There's constantly chicken wyverns and hydras that are popping out, and there's replicas of the boss, and whichever one we activate starts targeting everyone with red laser beams, and it's very easy. I've had this problem too, don't you worry. I mean, maybe not as much as some other people, but it's
Well, you're
very
looking at
easy
me.
to miss that and then start getting shot and dying from the red laser beams, because normally when you're in a raid, right, you're looking
Yeah.
ads peripheral vision,
Yeah.
but you're not used to like looking at a laser beam coming at you from up above
Yeah.
and then dying that way.
I died several times that way where I was like, oh yeah, that's what that noise is because it's so high up when it's beaming down on you that you're still looking around forward at killing
Yeah.
ads and the stuff that comes down the wyverns and stuff. So and then the time you realize that you had 2 seconds to get behind cover and it was too late. I think
Well,
everybody
it
it
also,
happened to.
it happens to everyone at least a few times, but it also teaches you got to keep your eyes on all the buffs, because
Yeah.
there is a buff that once it starts targeting you counts down 10 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
and if you get down to one you die. So
Yeah.
if you can also keep, I always tell people, I joke like, keep your side eye looking at your buffs on your screen at all times, because that's very important in
It taught
raids,
me
and then
to.
you can kind of
Yeah.
notice that. Yeah.
It taught me to. I definitely kept an eye on that timer a lot on the hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Least favorite of them
Anyway,
all
that
for
that
me.
encounter probably has the most, in a way, mechanics that have to be done just right
Yeah.
to not die there. So yeah, no, we don't say too much more about it, but it was a little bit harder, but it
Yeah.
was good. I would say it's probably, I like it better than Wyvern, but I like Hydra better. I just think that arena is sometimes a little messy, if that makes sense, like a little too spread out,
Yeah.
and the way they designed it.
Mhm.
But I do like the idea of the laser beams attaching on. I think that's
Yeah,
a
it's
really cool
crazy.
mechanic.
It's just a little extra that you have to think about. I mean, you remember we used to run those was it battle things where the towers would beam a laser on you. What was it, a couple
Oh
seasons
yeah,
ago?
yeah. I
Yeah.
forget. Mhm.
Battlegrounds was a
So
battle
it is
one of
similar
the
to that.
battlegrounds.
Yeah,
Something like that, yeah. It's that
yeah.
mechanic. So you have to stay
The
behind a
bunker
rock and
things, but
run.
yeah.
Yeah.
But and then once you finish the three encounters again in any order you want, you can do the final boss, which is a big giant harpy
It's big.
that looks like all bony and so this encounter is brought to this raid is brought to us by the Nine. And when you're in the sub encounters, it looks like regular Vex arenas. But when you go to the back to the middle area, the bosses, it looks like Nine stuff again. So
Mm-hmm.
a definitely unique looking big harpy, not anything normal that you would see.
Yeah, it's
And
an ugly
if anyone
sucker.
wants to stay spoiler free, it's kind of a cool experience if you don't look up videos, and then when you do the
Yeah.
raid, when you can see it for the first time, it's kind of like almost as impressive. I would say the second most impressive thing next to Oryx, coming out
Yeah.
in any raid,
It's
right?
massive. It's
Yeah,
epic. It's definitely epic. Yeah. Speaking of
yeah,
epic,
yeah.
hopefully we're going to run the epic raid down before Renegades. I'd like to
Oh,
at
I
least
don't.
run a crack at
Oh, you
epic.
do? I don't even know if I want to actually.
Really? Just for that last encounter, if
Yeah.
anything. But all right. Well, we can just.
Uh,
I think what we're
I'll
talking
think
about
about
doing
it.
now is we're thinking about swapping roles out so we can learn everything about the raid, which I like that because
Yeah.
I've learned my lesson, man. When I was trying to learn Deep Stone Crypt, all I wanted to do was just kill ads. I didn't want to learn anything. I didn't want to know it. I just wanted to get through it and get my gear. Show me what I got to do to get that to the scout raffle, you know? Well, that handicapped me later when we got a lot more people who wanted to run it more. I was totally I just didn't know any of the encounters. I tried them a few times and then usually just end up swapping off and shooting ads again. I totally locked myself out of really fully enjoying the Deep Stone Crypt raid because of that. And that taught me from then on, I want to dive right in and learn the mechanics, at least my part, you know? So
Yeah.
it's like I said, this is the first full raid team stuck to for what did it take us 5-6 weeks? We do a little bit every couple weeks. We
I
stretched it
don't
out quite a
remember.
bit, but I think it was
Yeah.
about probably 4 or 5 sessions for a few hours. We would try to learn it, and we went in spoiler free, just learned it, you know. And yeah, I that was so much fun, man. It was so much fun when you
So
have people you can
yeah.
count on to show up every Saturday, you know. Yeah,
Yeah. So on what I was going to say on the final boss, the Harpy, I would say it's kind of like a cool arena. It's not my favorite, but I'll tell you one thing, like they kind of bring some minor mechanics from all the encounters like any good raid does, and I won't spoil anything, but
yeah,
when I first was kind of semi assigned a position, it was like I had to find colors basically and mark them for people. I'm
yeah.
like, well, that sounds lame.
Right.
But when I actually started doing it, it was actually quite fun. So if anyone wants to do that position,
Yeah,
all the positions were pretty interactive. Is guess what I'm trying to say? At first, I thought my position was going to be lame, but all the positions are pretty interactive for that final boss encounter. So um, good raid all in all, and it was fun to run it with. I know I could have gotten a quicker clear with some other groups, but like I was really happy to. I didn't care. I just however long it takes, it takes,
hmm,
and I was happy to get it done with you guys. It was a really good experience. I'll always remember.
yeah. Same here, man. And like I said, props to Ronan and Sin and Allocate and Tajo and Zombie Pops all stuck in
Mhm.
there and stuck. We all stuck together and learned it all at once. Tajo had some previous knowledge and he had gotten it clear, I think, before us, but everyone else that jumped in there was just like us. They didn't know from the get go what to do. They had to learn it. So I quite enjoyed it. I mean, that really is the peak Destiny content. Really is, man. That's
I mean,
really what
yeah,
Destiny's all about.
that's why I only really like to do new content or
Yeah,
raids in the game because
totally get
raids
it.
to me have always been a peak thing. Now understand why some people may not like raiding, but if you even like it a little bit, we still have active raid groups. People that may not be doing much else in the game, but will come back for doing raids because it's I would say, especially once you get used to a raid, it's 70% social, 30% gameplay. So it's like
Yeah,
it really doesn't even matter what you're doing. You're just having fun with
yeah,
friends and doing a
exactly.
cooperative 6-person thing. Because I think the more people you can do something with, the more fun, but then also fun in weird ways too. If something goes wrong, there's more things that can go right and wrong and fun and weird and just more experiences you can have with a group of 6
Yeah,
versus a group of 3. That's why I
yeah,
like 6-player activities.
yeah. It's changed my mind on rating. I definitely want to do it more. It's definitely a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
kind of stepped back and didn't do a lot of rating for a while, and I'm really glad you talked me into doing that because I've thoroughly enjoyed our time learning it
Yeah.
and getting
It
it
was a lot of
down.
good.
So yeah, good deal, good deal.
All right. I'm done with that. Yep.
So of all the raids, where would you put that? Obviously in your top 5, I'm guessing.
Probably, well, definitely top 5, but even I would probably around 2-ish. Now, what goes in the number one
Mm,
spot can vary if you ask me day to day, but
yeah.
it's up there for sure, and it's really high, like between 1 and 3 for sure.
I think Oryx is probably always going to be my most favorite raid. Such a beautiful world you traverse to get to the final boss, and that is just a work of art. That raid is. So I'd probably put it at number 2 or number 3 for me. Yeah, definitely. So,
Nice.
well,
It's
speaking
gotten
of,
good reviews from others too.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, no, they've already, we're behind. We're behind this time around. We didn't run day one or anything. I really don't want to have no interest in running day one stuff. I'd rather know at least an idea of what to do, and then try to work it out and try to just get good at it and do your job and stuff. And
Well, yeah, the bigger issue is more just day one
time,
teams
time
usually
too.
don't communicate ahead of
Yeah.
time, and then there's always issues.
Man, if I played a day one raid for 18 hours straight, my wife would be calling her divorce attorney. There's no way in hell I'm playing a raid for 18 hours straight. There's just no way.
I mean, I could do that, but I don't necessarily want to.
It's
Yeah.
mental torture for me, man. I can't my monkey brain. I can't concentrate that
Pantheon
long.
kind of did that.
Yeah,
Pantheon, you had to put in
yeah,
the hours. Yeah.
that's true. That's true. Hopefully they bring something like that back soon. That's for sure. Yeah, before we get to the TWID tonight, I did see a movie this week. I did see, that's Tuesday night. In fact, I did see Tron Ares. I went in blind for the most part with this one because I really didn't know what to expect other than the general trailer, and it doesn't really share much on the general trailer. It just shows one scene that happens in the movie in the trailer. I really enjoyed it. My wife, on the other hand, was not entertained. I didn't realize it, but my wife never saw the original Tron from 1982. So she was kind of contextual wise. She had a hard time grasping why things were happening. She knew what was happening, but she didn't understand why they were happening in that order. And like I mentioned with you last week, Tron was the first movie, I think you said it was the first movie to use true CGI. And I looked into it, and it turns out that it wasn't the very first, but it was, in fact, the most influential movie back then that pushed CGI graphics forward. And I think you mentioned last week that they were snubbed for Best Special Effects Oscar because they thought back then that CGI was cheating, using computers was cheating.
Sorry, I didn't mention any of that.
You
All I
didn't?
mentioned was
Someone mentioned it.
they won sound awards for the
Yes, that they
original.
did.
Yeah.
I mean, their soundtracks are always epic. But yeah, they weren't considered because back then using computers in movies was considered cheating. And it's kind of ironic how everything today is run on computers when it comes to cinema and in the movie business. But the critics on Rotten Tomatoes were kind of lukewarm on this one. They gave it a 54%, but it's clear the audience loved this one at 87%. I agree. I will say this: if you're not a true Tron fan, the movie might not land as well for you. And I encourage you to go back and watch the original Tron and its sequel that came out years later. I mean, I loved it. I appreciated keeping the kind of the canon of the story and lore. There were a lot of callbacks to the original movie in there. If you knew where to look and what to look at, like on The Office, the original digitizing gun, and just really a lot of drawbacks to the original film. I give this one 4 stars, man. Solid, good movie. And watching it in the Dolby Theater was fantastic. As the digital world ship was moving through the city, my seats were rumbling so hard. I felt like I was getting a massage. It was crazy, man. But it was a fantastic movie. In my opinion, I came out of there, I was excited. I'll definitely remember that movie. So yeah, four solid stars for
Nice.
me.
So 4 is like an 8. I think I gave it like I think
Yeah,
I gave it a 8.5.
yeah.
But yeah,
Three and a
nice.
half stars is what I call a good movie. 4
Mhm,
stars is like solid, good to great. I mean, it's pretty up there.
mhm.
I don't think I've ever given anything
Yeah.
5 stars. I've definitely had a couple 4.5 star movies, but I'm pretty hard on movies. So I'm purposely hard on movies because I don't want to seem overly, promoting something. But I mean, if I like it, I like it. But I'm pretty hard on movies just
Do you
because I've seen so many of them.
do you like Tron Legacy better than Tron Ares, or is it hard to?
No,
Have you seen Tron
no,
Legacy
I've seen them
recently?
all. Not recently, but I remember seeing that movie, and it was no. I like Ares much better than Legacy. Legacy was okay.
Really?
Yeah, Legacy was
Yeah.
okay, but I definitely liked. I mean, of course, the original actor in Tron who shows up in this movie.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges. He was he was making his appearance in the second Legacy movie, and it was really cool. I think that sold a lot of tickets, and he does in this one as well. And I thought his script, I thought his writing, everything was very nice the way it was set up. So yeah, solid 4 stars for me. It was a good movie, man. I liked it. I'm actually going tomorrow night to see Keanu Reeves and Aziz Ansari's new movie. It's called Good Fortune. It's a comedy, which, Keanu Reeves is not really much into comedies. But it's about a low-level guardian angel who tries to step in and help out a guy down on his luck. So I'll report in next week on that one. But I'll be going to see that tomorrow at the movies, at the theaters. There's all kinds of new seasons out for like The Morning Show. The Voice is back. There's all kinds of great TV shows right now to watch, and I'm actually falling behind on a lot of my TV viewing. But that's it for me, man. That's it for me this week. How you doing, Willem Scream? So that's it for me. So that means it's time for This Week in Destiny. Hey, I need 1 second because I didn't bring my tea and my throat is already drying out. So let me grab my tea real quick. Give me like 60 seconds. I'll be right back. Yeah, I poured my tea. I poured my tea and I left it in the kitchen. I'm like, oh man, I won't last long at all without my green tea and honey, ginseng. Okay, let's get into.
You'll die if you don't drink it.
My throat, man. I got fans pumping, air everywhere in here because this office gets so hot. I've got so many computers and stuff and 4 monitors just beaming heat off of them right now. So yeah, it gets a little crazy in here. That's for sure. I'm going to go to
Starbucks refresher.
Oh, nice. Those are really good. I like those.
Yeah, these are good.
Very good.
I get it without the lemonade though, because it's too sweet with the lemonade. Also, I just get the plain refresher style.
I get you. Yep. All right, here we go. We're going to just share the screen here. Nope, not that one. Keep going. There we go. All right, here we go. This Week in Destiny for October 16th, 2025. This Week in Destiny, the spirits are among us as we preview the latest version of our annual spooky season activities, introduce the new Call to Arms event with a hot legendary universal helmet ornament, reward and cheer on Destiny 2 creators as they take on the epic raid challenge. All this on top of update 9.1.5.1 dropping earlier this week. So let's get into it. Festival of Lost preview. This was I don't know. I was reading this Kingsley, and this looks like it's going to be pretty fun. It's basically a spooky, altars event that's on the moon. It's going to be on the moon again. But
see, for me, I was more excited before when I found out it's going to be a variation of Altars of Sorrow. Now I'm less excited.
Why do you say that? I mean, because
you actually have fun with Altars of Sorrow. I think it gets kind of boring.
Yeah, altars. Anytime I had bounties where I had to go do altars, I was like, pass. I'll just go do a lost sector.
Yeah, so that's why I said that.
Yeah.
But I'll give my true opinion once I actually play it. It's not.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean I'm
true.
judging it yet. But I am a little more skeptical now. And I'm glad they mentioned it in the TWID because I'd heard the rumors, but I didn't want to say anything on the show because it was just rumors. But I'm like, I heard the rumors it was going to be a variation of Altars of Sorrow. So I'm like, oh man, that's what it's going to be.
Well, I mean, we'll read into it here. It looks like it's going to be fun. Yeah. After years
of Bungie says, and you trust.
Well, no, I mean, no, I was reading it. I was reading the description of it here, and it looks like it's going to have plenty of rewards and stuff. And I was worried that
because of the rewards. I got you. I'm just talking about
looter shooter, right? While we're here,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean at
No,
this.
but we said the activity's fun or not. You said the whole event,
Mm,
so that's different. Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. When we had haunted lost sectors, I loved them because I would just jump in and just start farming stuff.
Yeah, you like
Get
that a lot.
get those completions, get it done, move out, start over, do it again, collect the
It,
materials
it's
on the way.
too early for me to say. So
That's true.
I just
That's
know
true.
I was talking to a couple other people too, and when they heard that, they're like, "Oh man, Altars of Sorrow."
Well, I mean,
So we'll see.
it's
We'll
not
see when it
only
comes up.
haunted sorrows altar of sorrows. They're actually going to have a PvP activity as well called the Red Rumble. It's a PvP six player version of Rumble where you shoot headless ones to drop ammo, explosive pumpkins, and more tools that will help you defeat your opponents. So here's the weapons that they're going to be bringing back, are actually some newer weapons here. The first one is called Gunburn. It is a kinetic, lightweight frame submachine gun. I'm assuming this is a 900. And yes, they said it has a kinetic tremor, so we know it's a kinetic. And then the second one is a strand precision frame bow called Hushed Whisper, and Arcane Embrace. I think we know about that one already. That's from last season. Arc Heavy Burst Shotgun, which I think I still have one in my vault. It does hit pretty hard. I think it's like a 2-shot. I think it's like a 2-shot shotgun. But they said that these weapons will drop as Eerie Engrams from the 2 event specific activities, with up to 2 daily Eerie Engrams also dropping from other portal activities. There we go. We don't have to exactly play altars all the time. You can also buy them with candy, of course, and the event home has some of them as part of the event rank rewards and the event shop. And the best news is all Festival of the Lost weapons drop with a higher tier than your current level allows you to earn, just like Solstice. That's great news. I just hope it's not good news too late. You know what I mean? Because, I had so much fun in Solstice, man. I love the drop rates that we were getting. I was getting tier 5. I was 300 power. I was getting some tier 5 stuff from time to time as well. Back when Solstice was around, I was in my 300s, I think.
But remember, it also matters less now because it's much easier to level up anyways. So
that's true. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Hard,
yeah.
If people play this hard, it's kind of the whole, well, I don't know if we even want to get into that topic this week, but the whole leveling thing, I'm really concerned about the power leveling not raising, and if people that don't look ahead in the long run, they may not realize until it's too late.
I know we mentioned this last week that, what are the people who've already grinded? I mean, what are they going to do? Those are the people I kind of worry about, because they're going to jump in there, they're going to farm, they're going to get all their specific gear, their set their set bonuses, armor pieces and setups and everything they have, probably a lot faster than the rest of us. And for that, I do worry about the guys that are already, like Tajo and all those guys that are already at 550 or close to it. But I tell you, the good thing about this is a lot of people who maybe like you, who just said, I'm not really going to worry about, leveling up too much. But, when you do get to 470 and higher, you start getting tier 5s like all the time. And here's the thing. That's the part I love about this new system they put in place with the tiered loot. It's like the more you play, and you got to play some harder activities as you go, but you get rewarded with higher tier loot. And if anything, it's just a flex, because you can use tier 2 loot and still do a lot of things in the game that you could do with tier 5 loot. But I think what Bungie's thinking here is we have a nice 7 weeks here. We got a nice slow burn to take our time. The new leveling patch they just dropped is dropping. The Engrams that the extra drops you get in each of the portal events actually are of power or higher power. So that's a good thing. I mean, people are going to level up a lot faster, no doubt. I think I'm at 435, 437, something like that now. I'm almost to that 470 mark. That's what I'm really trying to get to.
And since you can level up so much faster now, mark my words, a little after Renegades, because there won't be any more leveling up through at least summer 2026.
Yeah.
People
Shadows in order or something.
Now what?
Yeah.
Now what? And I heard an interesting thing. One guy that, now, of course, you still have to grind to do it this quick, but this is how much better it is now with leveling up. One guy that the amount of effort he was putting in before to go from 500 to 550 with the change on Tuesday, he got it done in 1 day.
Wow.
To 550.
That's good news for people
putting
like
in
that.
a lot of effort, but
yeah,
No, but it's not good news if the level doesn't go up again in Renegades,
Mm.
which it's not.
Yeah,
So there's
like I
nothing to
said,
strive for.
the maximum
Yeah.
level people I'm worried about. I mean, I'm curious. I'm
And
curious.
everyone will get to maximum level pretty quick now, is what I'm
Yeah.
also saying, you know.
Well, I mean, I mean,
So
Bungie's
yeah.
got to do something here, man. They've got to figure out how to keep people playing the game. I mean, if you're going to get to 500 a lot faster now, that means you have a lot more time to start cranking and farming loot. Start getting your smoke jumper set up, you know, with the special set bonuses and stuff. You can start actually looking every day, like when you're looking for frames to craft weapons. Now it's going to be, okay, I need to get a nice grenadier set of smoke jumper in tier 5. And that way my set will be complete. Then I can maybe get quad 100 stats, you know. I can start working toward that
So
stuff.
hopefully they add a lot more loot, because that'll be easier to get too.
True.
The fact that you can get to
Yeah.
550 easier,
Yeah.
and there's not tons of new loot in the game right now.
No.
So people are going to be pumping through that real quick, and then
Yeah.
it's like chirp chirp. What do we do now?
You know, it's funny. I was listening to Two Titans and a Hunter podcast, and they were talking about how Kepler. Why would you even want to go back and play anything in Kepler? Because it's capped at 300. I think that's the next step that Bungie needs to make. Is they need to have everything drop in power. They need to have powerful drops in Kepler, and then people might come back and start playing the other activities that are there. Because right now, you're almost handicapped. You're looking at your watch like, oh, I'm wasting time here. I could be in the portal leveling up my power. Instead, I'm getting weapons that are dropping a tier 3 and 300 power. I'm wasting my time here on Kepler, which is a shame, man, because that is the new location. That's the new destination they made. It makes sense. That's where you want everyone to go and play and experience the fun of the Kepler activity. But I don't know. I still feel that they might make changes there before Renegades drops. But we'll have, I guess time
Changes
will tell.
for what? The power thing again?
Yeah, well, everything is capped at 300 right now on Kepler. So people,
Oh, no, the Kepler thing.
I'm at
Gotcha.
I'm at 436, 437. Why would I want to go and play Kepler activities when I'm only going to get level 3, 300 level stuff? It'll cost me.
I just don't know why they would make the change now, because it's already almost deprecated with Renegades being around.
Well, we'll see. But that was a big complaint for me a long time ago. Is I can't go back to really. I'm not motivated to go to Kepler. There's a lot of fun things to do on Kepler, but I don't want to do them because I'm not going to get anything powerful. I don't feel like my time's being valued there, you know? So
You don't like the experiences?
I mean, I still haven't finished all of the individual.
That's like saying, I'm not going to look at the beautiful national forest unless I get a treat at the end.
Oh, you know what I mean. We're talking about a video game, not hiking. But I mean,
it's
the
a close
view
analogy.
The view is the reward, Kingsley. I mean, come on, man. I mean, when you're hiking Bryce Canyon.
No, you got to have both for sure.
Yeah, when you
But
get
when
to
you
that
haven't even
end
done
cave,
all the side quests anyways, you should do them at least once, regardless of what the rewards are.
I understand that. And I do jump on Kepler and try to get the individual little bounties done little by little. I'm still working on it, but there's another game in my way right now, so I'll talk about that a little later on.
Okay.
But yeah, gunburn seems to be the weapon that everyone's talking about wanting to get. Kinetic lightweight frame. In fact, I mean,
as long as it also has heel clip, I still like my current SMG better. But if it has heel clip also, then I'll consider it. Yeah.
Let me see something here. I'm just curious.
Do they have the specs of what they
have
yet?
I think they do.
Okay.
Gunburn. I think it's already in the API. Yeah, it is right there. Let's look at this real quick.
Ooh, let's pull it up live. Sorry if I'm distracting you. This is kind of a fun conversation, though.
No, it's I've got it pulled up right here. Of course, the barrel perks. It has all the normal barrel perks, but it's a lightweight frame, 900. That's what I thought. It looks very much like the Recluse, as far as it's a Zeist weapon, and it has some good perks. It has something called Bewildering Burst. Reloading the weapon after defeating a target causes the next hit to launch a kinetic projectile that detonates into a disorienting blast. Let me see if can I can't make this any bigger. Sorry, guys.
We've had a million versions of that already.
Well, true. You got Lone Wolf, of course, for like Iron Banner and stuff. Threat detection, which is good for killing ads and stuff. Stats for all, maybe not so much. Recycled energy, pugilist for your Titans out there. Lead from light. Picking up an orb of power causes your next final blow with this weapon to grant bonus special ammo meter progress. Okay. Attrition orbs. You've got kinetic tremors, like they mentioned. Ancillary Ordnance. This is the one that's like the Quicksilver. Rapid elemental final blows and final blows on targets affected by elemental debuffs. Periodically prepare a homing micro missile, which is launched from from your target after the weapon's next final blow. So it's like the Quicksilver Storm auto rifle, very much like that. Target lock, it's good to have on a submachine gun, even though they nerfed it. One for all, good for ad clear. Wellspring, and binary orbit, which is I never quite understood this perk. Elemental final blows opposite this weapon increase damage for a short duration. Darkness final blows boost arc, solar, and void weapons. Light final blows boost stasis, strand, and kinetic weapons. Okay. Scoring opposing elemental alignment kills grant 25% increased damage for 8.5 seconds. That's a pretty good amount of time. Now, I'll have to if I get a drop, I'll just try it out. They've got 4 origin perks, though. They got Search Party. This weapon is granted faster aim down the sight speed and movement speed while aiming down the sights when no allies are near. So if you're doing solo ops, that's a good perk. Vest Stinger, everyone knows about this one. Damaging enemies with this weapon has a small chance to reload the magazine and increase movement speed while aiming down the sights. Bows receive faster draw speed and swords receive faster charge rate. You have Search Party Enhanced, and you have, okay, so those are the 4. Vest Stinger Enhanced. So the base weapon probably has the base perks, but probably the tier 3, 4s, and 5s have the enhanced version. So I don't know. It looks fun. Man, it has a ton.
It looks good enough for sure. I still think my Yeartide is a little bit better, but
okay.
This has, of course, kinetic tremors will be really good.
Well, Yeartide is a Haka. Yeah. It's a Haka weapon. Or is it Haka? No, it's in the same family as the what's that weapon in the cowboy theme? I'm so lost of words tonight. It's not Haka. It's another weapon I'm thinking of. It'll come to me later.
You're gonna say something for PvP. I don't care.
Yeah, but it's
yeah. But
it's
for PvE. It's really Yeartide is amazing for PvE.
Yeah. So that looks like fun. So we'll have to.
No, this will be good for people, and especially
Tex Mechanica.
Yeartide also.
Thank you, Deadpool. Yeah. Tex Mechanica. It's in that family. Same as like the exotic. Very much the Yeartide Apex is very much like the that exotic version of the Tex Mechanica submachine gun. Let me just get back to the TWAB.
That's the thing, which I've said for so long. There's so many good weapons. It's like unless something's like dramatically better, I don't really care to grind for it. You know.
I mean, I'm not really a bow user, so you can look at it on Dim. It'll tell you the different things you can get with Hush Whisper, but just not my cup of tea, really. So. Anyway, to commemorate the fallen Guardians, we're giving away the Feral Heart Emblem when you tune into your favorite Destiny 2 streamer for at least 30 minutes from October 21st when the event starts, by the way, at 10 a.m. It's reset. Until October 28th, 10 a.m. You must link your Bungie account to Twitch to receive the emblem. You can redeem the emblem by logging into your Bungie Net account and going into Partner Rewards section of the Code Redemption area. So it's very vibrant. Very vibrant. I don't know. Looks good.
Yeah, nice Halloween emblem. I'll definitely be hopping on right at reset to check out the activity. See what I think
definitely,
about it.
Yeah. Call to arms. Now, this is the thing I was wondering. I was going to ask you this week if they didn't talk about it. Is this call to arms? What's up?
We've already kind of known some about it, but they're giving us more details this week.
Yeah. I want to read this part because this really they're explaining what this is about because I really did not know, and it's a 3-week event. Starting November 11th, we're debuting the brand new event, Call to Arms. Devon K has been tapped by the Vanguard to help the last city find the best gear in the Sol system for its mortal forces. Devon is asking all Guardians to put their best loadouts to the test by racking up higher scores than ever before. To aid that effort, Guardians can visit Devon to increase the chance of receiving select weapons from the season's events via weapon attunement. Devon will also be importing daily shipments that feature powerful gear from different activities. This will be a great time to complete your seasonal gear collection before Renegades begin. So it's kind of a catch up. It's kind of a catch up mechanic, right? If you laid low.
They don't have Yeartide on here.
What's that?
Sorry.
Oh,
no. They don't have Yeartide on
here.
No,
they don't have the Solstice weapons. You had to be there for that. But event weapons attainable via Devram's weapon attunement with a chance to receive their holofoil variant include Submersion, the combat bow, Romantic Death, the grenade launcher, Folded Root, the rocket launcher, Ribbon Tail, the trace rifle, Senacia sword, the Fenutria Fera, the new heavy burst hand cannon, the basically a shotgun in your hand, and the Trakinus shotgun that we just got that last week in the it's a rapid fire shotgun from the last event, Arms Week. Additionally, as a thank you to the Last City for your efforts, Devrim has arranged a new cutting-edge procurements to be delivered to those who participate. Cutting-edge procurements contain a random assortment of new Season 28 gear and other goodies designed to help you get a head start in Renegades. Okay. Looking at that rifle right there. Kind of looks like a Graviton Lance.
People, you'll do fine with any weapon in Renegades. You don't need a head start. Not saying you shouldn't grind for this.
That's a nice weapon,
that's just funny talk there.
I wonder if that's an exotic. I guess it can't be an exotic. It looks a lot like a Graviton Lance a little bit. Okay. Finally, Devrim knows that Guardians don't want to use the best gear. They want to look their best as well. And this is what I was really excited about this. All players can earn exclusive cosmetics, such as a new exotic weapon ornament for new Malpies by completing event ranks, which also unlock rewards, including a Sparrow, Ship, Ghost Shell, Shader, Finisher, and Holofoil weapons. For those who want to push the limits of their build and skill, Guardians will be able to go head-to-head to compete for an exclusive Universal Helmet ornament, among other prestigious prizes. I'm thinking this reminds me of Guardian games where you would actually go do.
Yeah,
you're trying to get in that top. You're trying to get in that like top 10% to get the glow.
Yeah.
Competitive format, reward eligibility, Call to Arms competition asks Guardians to compete against each other for high scores in any or all of 5 different portal activities. At the end of the event, Guardians will receive prestigious prizes based on their final competitive standing in each of the activities. Yeah, this reminds me of Guardian games big time. With the exception of cutting-edge zone control, which requires a full set of new gear, there is no restriction on loadouts that may be equipped. Launching Call to Arms activities from the event home will make you and your fire team eligible for competitive high scores. The activities are as follows: Heliostat, the Coil, Salt Mines, Proving Grounds, and Cutting Edge Zone Control. Your high scores are awarded competitor points based on how that score compares to the scores as a percentile of other Guardians. The total number of competitor points determines the reward received at the end of the event. Man, that is a sleek looking.
Now, wait a second. Are they going to allow a fire team into the salt mines finally? And that's going to make me even more pissed that they didn't do it back.
I don't know.
When they claimed they would.
Maybe a 3-man?
Because remember, one of the millions of things, which I didn't like about solo ops, is all the things they claimed they were going to do but didn't. And one of the things was, solo ops are good for solo players, but you can bring in a fire team if you want. But then they didn't allow that. Now they're making it sound like they actually
only solo right now.
going to allow that, which is kind of cool. If they
maybe that'll be just a solo version of the event for people who don't have a fire team.
But look above, they say you and your fire team.
Yeah,
so I would assume for all those activities.
Man,
who knows?
That Sparrow looks sleek. Looks like a bullet. I love that Sparrow. Looks good. Okay. To give perspective, Guardians who earn a top 10% score for the 2 of the 5 Call to Arms activities will earn enough competitive points to be eligible for the new Universal Helmet ornament. I really like this because this is earnable. You don't have to go buy it. It's earnable. And you can only earn it. I like this. The best of the best Guardians scoring in the top 1% in just one activity will also have enough competitive points to be eligible for the same rewards. So you probably want to spread it around if you want to try to get in that top 10%. Just play the events. 2 new emblems, one granted to all players who post a high score and one for the top scoring Guardians. New transmat, new shader, legendary Universal Helmet ornament. Look at these. Look at those helmets, man. What do you think about that? I think Astercross was.
But I could see why other people would like it. Yeah.
I think Astercross was, when he was reading the TWAB this week, he said, "Man, if those are shadable, in other words, you can have them like glowing purple if you're a Void Warlock or something, or put those shaders on that change colors. I wonder if that would transfer over. I'm curious if it would. Anyway, 2 new activities, Willem, definitely. What
2 new activities?
Well, it's 2 new activities. You have a. Well, wait a minute. You're talking about well, the cutting edge zone control, you have to have a full set of armor for to be able to play it, which means you got to play these other activities up
could
here.
have been from a long time ago. Who knows?
It could have been. It could have been because you have a
I don't know what
you have a
two activities
PVE and a PvP activity in the new. We're talking about the new
the Halloween event.
The Halloween event.
2 new activities.
2 new activities. Yeah. Maybe he's referring to that. Yeah, but man, I like that helmet. That helmet looks good. I can just see going through the towers with that helmet, man. It's gonna look really nice. Okay. Destiny 2 Creator Hub Epic Raid Challenge. I'm not going to get into this a whole lot here. It's basically a raid race. You know how our buddy Umber Fudd has raid races from time to time. This is one that Bungie's putting on, and you have all of these teams that are going to be competing. All of these teams that if Scarab's got a team, Little Rumblebee has a team, Galt Salto Greppo, of course, has a team. A lot of people here, and it's just going to be like a public raid race. And it's a speed run. It's a speed run race. You're trying to get to it. You're trying to get your best time, and whoever gets the best time wins. So they'll be giving out these those 90s ornament, that 90s banner that you were talking about. That emblem looks very 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, very
90s,
very very bright colors and stuff like that. So remember, Bungie, you mentioned this last.
Taco Bell 90s.
Yeah, Taco Bell 90s, exactly. And remember, as I mentioned last week, TwitchCon's this weekend. Bungie's going to be there, so if you're there, make sure you get with them. They'll give you a code for an ornament for a new TwitchCon emblem. Looks really nice. Yeah, looks really
I like
good.
that one a lot, actually.
It's nice. It's classic.
Fun and symmetrical isn't the right. Well, actually, the big one is symmetrical if you look all the way from left to right. But yeah, I could see potentially getting that one.
Yeah. We've got some other surprises planned as well. So find the Bungie if you have Bungie Foundation or Destiny gear, you might want to wear it. Yeah, okay, that's a clue. Power and progression changes. They have a full article they released. We won't get into that tonight. We got other things to talk about, but there is a link here if you want to check out the full patch notes. Player support report. What can I say? Shit's broken. Shit's broken.
And they're listing more things in the TWID than before. So.
This is what I'm worried about, man. This is what I'm worried about is with this new Halloween event. I'm already dreading it because I'm thinking, okay, what's not going to work? What's not going to work?
Well,
only 3 people of the 6-man activities are getting stuff to fall from the chest. Those are nightmares I hear about all the time.
I'm actually not so concerned about that. And
Really?
my point was saying the TWID thing was more so like this week it went up a little bit again, but the last several TWIDs were just kind of lame and a lot of repetitive stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like they made the known issues list bigger because remember, they never listed all the known issues in the TWID. They just listed some. If you go to their website, you can see them all. Well, I think they've just been adding more in TWID just because they want to do that now. This isn't any comment on, yes, we know there's more bugs now than compared to even a year ago, but I was only making the comment of they have more in the TWID now than in the past of what the bugs are. Yeah,
please just
and remember, people, if you want to know if something's broken or not, yes, you can ask in the Discord. We will never think that's inappropriate, but it's very easy to do a Google search, Bungie known issues, and sometimes you get your question answered even sooner. They have a nice website that shows all the known issues, and you can kind of see what's going on.
Exactly. A movie of the week is called Life Saving Golden Gun, so check that out if you're on the site. / the artist of the week, all about those swords. Yeah, it looks like something The Witness did to us a while back. You made it through this week's TWID. Guardians, if you haven't yet, be sure to let us know when what you're liking in update 9.1.51, as well as what can be improved. We'll see you among the halted altars when the Festival of Loss opens next Tuesday. Moon's haunted after all. Destiny 2 community team, thank you for letting us know what's going on as usual. So yeah, any final thoughts, Kingsley? Anything we need anything you want to comment on there, or is it we kind of pretty much did it, didn't we? So we went through it.
Yep.
Okay. All right, sounds good. We are going to return with our topic of the week. All right, let me get into that. Let's get back to our... There we go. Back to normal. Okay. Get rid of that. Yeah, I was looking at the popularity report. It's like we're at 323,000 as of yesterday.
It hit. Okay, so maybe it went up a little. What was the all-time low? Because it hit the all-time low within the last week. It got lower than Curse of Osiris. That was the point.
317.
Why people were talking about it. Was it
Three,
280 or something? Was the lowest?
317. I'm looking. 317 is the
There
lowest
was
I
a
can
two
see.
something. Um,
It was actually in a 500,000 range just a month ago. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
but that's still
Yeah.
not what it should be. When you look at
No.
history, it should be
No.
much higher.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. Okay. Let's get into our topic. All right. Yes. All right. Here we go. All right. For this week's topic, it was actually inspired by a new video game I picked up and started playing this past weekend. And I spoke to Mike about it. And since he has been playing new games as well, I figured maybe we can, maybe it will pertain to this week's topic of the week. I figured, what is it exactly that we want to talk about? I'm after seeing lots of great reviews and streams. I did finally pick up Battlefield 6. I had to go ahead and try it out, and I must say, this game has already broken previous sales records from their past Battlefield games. I'm talking all the way back to God knows when. 1.8 million copies pre-ordered alone, with the early revenue estimates already surpassing the $100 million mark. Compare that to Destiny Rising that made $9 million. Just saying. After playing the game over the weekend, I could draw many similarities between this game and the current Destiny 2 game, which is on the other side of the equation right now in terms of player count and sales. There were 657,000 players in its first 24 hours of Battlefield 6's release, and that's on Steam alone. So we're probably well over the 1 million player mark across all platforms, and that, I'm probably lowballing it still, versus 76,000 concurrent across all platforms for Destiny 2. I'm trying to remember when I checked that. Desert Perpetual Raid this past weekend, we were playing it, only had 4,000 players playing that game, playing that part of Destiny 2. Man, that's just sad because I don't know about you. I had the best time playing that Desert Perpetual Raid. We were only one fire team of 4,000 players that last weekend. So I'm sure you're asking yourself now, so Gator, what's so similar between Battlefield 6 and Destiny 2? Well, I'll tell you. Even though I was a little late to the party with Battlefield games, I started playing Battlefield 3 back in October of 2011. DICE launched its first Battlefield game, which was Battlefield 2042, back in 2002. So the Battlefield franchise has lasted over 23 years now. That dwarfs the Destiny franchise of 11 to 12. Yet everywhere I look, critics are saying that the Destiny game is dying. In my opinion, Bungie tried something new this year with the Portal system. And yes, it hasn't landed the way they expected it might have. But Battlefield 2042, which I, by the way, created an entire Battlefield podcast around, I was so excited for this game, was a huge flop. And even though DICE only sold 7 million units in its lifetime back in 2023, for reference, Battlefield 1 sold 25 million units, Battlefield 3 sold 15 million, Battlefield 5 sold 11 million. I mean, that's a huge difference from 7 million with the 2042 game. But that game nearly ruined the Battlefield franchise. Everyone I knew had buyer's remorse after dropping nearly $100 on this game. DICE was probably at its lowest point in a long time. There was even speculation that EA was going to take the franchise away from DICE and let another studio create future Battlefield games. But man, what one new game can do for a studio. I mean, to be fair, EA used 4 studios to make this Battlefield 6 game, but 2042 was DICE trying something new, as the Battlefield game all these years had kind of grown stale, and they were trying to make it fresh again. So instead of the normal class system, they used these heroes with these quirky personalities and all these wacky gadgets. And Battlefield fans were not amused, including me. They also tried to create 128 player maps. All it caused was a bunch of performance issues and lag, and servers were crashing, and man, the bugs. I remember running forward and immediately getting glitched 10 steps back as I was trying to run. It felt like I was running in quicksand. And after that happened a few times, I was so frustrated, I just shut the game off. It was so bad. Almost everything in that game was buggy. DICE was being pressured, I think, to get a new Battlefield game out because they were trying to compete with Call of Duty. The problem is Battlefield is not Call of Duty. They are drastically different games. So both studios have tried to approach their franchises in a new way. And ironically, at least so far, both have flopped. So what's that tell us? Well, maybe we as gamers, we just want our usual franchise game, but maybe with just some newest version and maybe a few quality of life changes. And of course, Kingsley, more content, obviously. I have to tell you, DICE did exactly that with Battlefield 6. It's the same old Battlefield game, but they have really made this game appealing to all kinds of players. For instance, if you want to play a single player story campaign, you don't want to play PvP, they got it. Now, I've heard reviews on this game, I think Motive was the one who made this single player campaign. And I've heard reviews from Skill Up and a lot of people out there that it's okay. It's not, it's nothing, they stuck to what they've always done. And even though the single player story campaign wasn't like epic, it was still entertaining and fun to play. And that's the gist I got from most people. Secondly, if you haven't played Battlefield in a long time and you just want to get some experience playing, but not get teabagged by an enemy player when you die for the 25th time, they have a feature where you can get your own persistent personal server. I was blown away when I heard this. You used to be able to rent a server for like $15 or $20 a month, and you could create private matches among friends, or you could open it up to the public and have some trusted friends, keep an eye on things and kick out any trolls or extra toxic players. But in Battlefield 6, everyone gets their own server free of charge, included in the game. Now, full disclosure, I tried to set mine up, and they're at capacity right now. I think they realize how great this was at what they making these personal servers, but said they're going to be working on it to get it fixed soon. So I'm sure they got everyone on, all hands on deck trying to get that working. But I could set up my own server, pick any map, any game type, and just populate it with AI bots just to get some target practice in. And some of the bots were definitely dumb, easy targets, but I tell you what, some of them were very smart. They would really challenge you, and their aim was like perfect. I mean, they would two-shot you everywhere. All the while, though, while playing these bots, you can level up your weapons. You can get any of your challenges done. They literally have daily, weekly, specific mission challenges that unlock all kinds of cool camos and other soldier cosmetics, and never play against another human being. This, to me, can be really inviting to a gamer who doesn't play shooters much and just wants to get better in a controlled environment. So that was something I thought was very, very cool with the new Battlefield 6 game. And of course, they have their standard multiplayer with all the I think they have 8 or 9 new maps out, many different types of game types, everything from close quarters, team deathmatch, to huge open world maps with tanks and planes and helicopters and other transport vehicles and bikes. It's all out chaos. And it's the usual Battlefield game. And you're going to die all the time in the game, but it just didn't seem to bother me. This is just kind of the way it is. Probably because the game rewards you for playing as a team. You can be a killer with your assault rifle, still fall short on the leaderboard, and get outscored by a player who just supplied his squad with ammo, revived players that were down, and just took and played the objective of the game. And maybe even got 5 kills the entire game. The scoring system is very generous, and it heavily rewards team play. The progression, awesome. It's really fun. There's so many things to level up, tons of camos, soldier cosmetics, included in the game, by the way, not a microtransaction. It just brings me back to what I enjoyed about the Battlefield game. And I suspect I'll be playing this game for a while. And yes, it is mainly a multiplayer game, and it certainly is easier to create content that is repeatable versus creating big open worlds in Destiny and new activities that players want to play over and over again. But the similarities are easy to see between these two studios. But before I get to my next part, Mike, I was just curious if there was something that you drew out from games that you've been playing I mean, I think I heard a comment also about Division 2 was bringing content back and bringing players back to their game that seemed to be dead for all these years. Was that the case, or?
Yeah, it was never quite dead, but yeah, I mean, if you're just looking at, there's no way to see what the total population is for all the platforms. Actually,
Right.
found out over time, more people probably play Division Two. A lot of friends I want to. One bad thing is they don't have crossplay, just because when the
Oh,
game was
right.
made, it just
Just
wasn't
wasn't a
as much of
feature.
a thing.
Yeah.
And so I have so many friends on PlayStation that I can't play with. But anyways, Division Two has gotten more players over time. It's like one of the few games that have done that.
Right.
And because of the way they do the content, and even having a small studio, and they're already working on a Division Three because they know that you don't want to keep a game stale for too long. Um, you know, kind of like there's a lot of things you brought up, but like you know, games like Borderlands 4, Division 2 or 3,
Mm-hmm.
um, a Battlefield 20, whatever, like there's a reason why I think, and there's good precedent why you should make a new game at some point. And again, why I've been saying for years that Destiny 2 shouldn't be in year freaking 10, you know what I mean, for the same
Yeah,
game.
I get that.
You got to rip the band-aid off and make a new one. Now, of course, the bigger issue though is, and you were even proving the point by saying they had a lot of studio and people working on it.
Yes.
I'm just worried no matter what Bungie does right now, they just don't have enough people to do good in keeping Destiny 2 or do good with anything. So hopefully Sony can put more investment there.
Yeah.
But I do agree that there should be, keep with stuff that works, but make new versions of it. That's what
Yeah.
Borderlands 4 did. They
Yep.
kept with stuff that worked good in 3 and then made a new version of it because you can't do I promise people think you can do whatever you want with the same game. No, there's some things that you can't change unless you make a new game. Like even server infrastructure or things like that. If you want to do some cool things in Destiny, it's not possible without making a whole new game,
Right.
just like with Battlefield too. So that's why I think there's good precedence to make a new game. But I like what you said with keeping it similar.
I mean,
Another interesting thing
yeah.
was, oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just backing up your point. I mean, it seems like
Yeah.
here is DICE trying to be innovative and create these characters with all kinds of gadgets and stuff instead of the typical military usual classes that supplied ammo and healed people and all that. And we basically everyone hated it. Everyone hated it, and it's like the Destiny is. It's the reason I'm drawing a parallel here is Destiny's doing the same thing, man. They don't know what to do to make Destiny 2 not as stale. And they people were tired of the same old seasonal models, right? So they said, okay, we're going to try something different. We're going to have this portal system where you can go in. It'll tell you what you're going to get ahead of time for the time. It's going to tell you how much time it's going to take to play it. And then they're going to tell you what reward you're going to get or possibly get. And then, of course, they brought the tiered armor and weapon systems. I think, please, Bungie, don't get rid of that, because that's the reason why everybody's leveling up right now is because they want that higher tier loot. Even though a tier 5 doesn't make a grand bit of difference between a tier 3, you're getting more. Yes, you're getting more. It's like a depth armor. You're getting a little bit. You think you're getting one more slot for mods. You can bump up a little bit. You can tweak a little bit of some of your. There's a little like half step and where you could tweak one thing on your armor as far as its stat. And yes, you definitely have higher numbers as far as all your stats, period. But really, Bungie has made it where it's not must have. There's no FOMO there because you can still get lower tier loot if you don't want to do the grind and if you don't want to level up. But this is the one thing I loved about the new DLC when it dropped. Edge of Fate. My mind's mush tonight. It's been a long day. I had a lot of head. I've been in the sun a lot today. You can see I'm a little redder than usual. I love the fact that Bungie said, the more time you put in, the more time you grind this game, we're going to give you a reward for that. The more power goes up, we're going to give you better rewards for that. That used to be uncalled. I mean, that used to be unheard of. You couldn't get you couldn't get these kinds of what I call adept weapons and armor unless you played super high level stuff that probably 1% of the player base would play, like Trials or like Legend Raids, or these high level, like your Pantheon games and stuff. That's where you could get the special weapons and loot and stuff all the time. But for the average player, we didn't want to. It wasn't worth the grind for us to jump in there and get dumped on. You know, if going in Trials and getting killed a million times and then getting teabagged to boot and sent messages, get good, scrub, or you should quit this game, you're terrible. Or we've had people comment on all kinds of things they hear in Trials. But my point is, Bungie tried something new.
This is all over the place.
Sorry, Bungie tried something new. I'm trying to stick to my one point here. They tried something new with the portal system, and it didn't land like it was supposed to. But I think they were short-sighted. I think they had a good system set up, but I think they just didn't see further down the road how they would tie it all in together and how they would keep people playing. Was my point. What I was adding to.
I think they had a very good vision. They just didn't have the manpower to pull it off. That's what I think.
That could be.
Yeah.
That could very well be the case.
And people have to admit this, whether they like it or not. They told us, well, they have less employees. They told us we're getting less content this year.
Yeah.
And doing this portal thing's all they really probably could do with having less employees and stuff. And so it's not like, now, yeah, I think a lot of people agree the vision wasn't implemented well. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm shaking my head too, because I even saw this a year ago when you and everyone were talking up, this is going to be amazing. All this stuff looks really good. I'm like, I'm not so sure.
I had a different vision in mind than what we got. That's the reason I was excited.
Yeah. And I think it would have been better you can't really have new visions when you have less employees. You kind of have to go with what's working. That's what, bringing this back to Division has a pretty small crew right now. Now, there is another studio working on Division 3, but they've kind of kept it the same-ish, and it's worked good enough. Now, Destiny trying something new, that's very hard to do when you don't have the resources. So what they probably should have done with Edge of Fate is, we already know we're getting less content. I mean, again, it was cost less to buy Destiny this year than the year before. Forget the cosmetics, but if you wanted all the content, it was $80. Well, previous year, all the content was $100. So that alone shows that, we're having less stuff. So what they should have done is not change all these systems and just try to focus as much on content as they can and stick with what's working. And then hopefully they'll get more investment whenever, and then hopefully they can make a new game or something like that. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. And I was curious what Division 2 was doing, because that game has been out a long time, man. And it's like they went radio silent for the longest.
Is when it came out, I think.
Yeah, so Destiny 2. 2 years into Destiny 2. Yeah. So I mean, but they went radio silent though. They just shut down communications as far as I know. I didn't hear anything new. I think they would talk.
Well, they were always making seasons.
Okay, so they were trying.
Silent.
Okay, I didn't play it, so that's on me. So they were trying at least some minimal content after.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And they have 2 DLCs also, and one of the DLCs just came out earlier this last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now there were times where the seasons weren't as often, when they couldn't work on it as well.
Right.
But the funny thing is we're getting the opposite of what we're getting in Destiny. A couple of years ago, there was like maybe 3-ish seasons per year. Maybe sometimes it was even longer than that.
Right.
Right now, we're back up to 3-month seasons. We're getting 4 seasons per year in Division 2 pretty regularly.
Nice.
And they're almost getting better over time. I don't know how they're doing it with such a
dedicated.
I know they have some other studios doing some things too, so that's probably what it is.
Devs have to not only know what to do, but they want to build a game that they want to play, right? Isn't that what Destiny originally was about? Yeah. It's about devs who love to play the game on their off time. And when you have that passion, you get more ideas, man. Let's face it. But it just seems now that maybe it's because there's been so many people laid off that were the original crew, and maybe the new crew that's coming in, maybe that they don't have that history that these old devs that were laid off, Maybe there's
But overall, I still think it's
yeah,
the amount of people.
could be,
So
could be.
games can do different things depending on what the tools are. But unfortunately, the way Destiny 2 was developed kind of had a certain,
Yeah,
what you call like a minimum viable or base standard. That's like saying even with like Battlefield 6, if it takes this many people to make the game, and then all of a sudden you cut that studio in half, or the amount of total devs, would people also be saying, doesn't matter, Battlefield 6 should still do just as good for year 2 and year 3? No, everyone would be saying it makes sense Battlefield 6 can't be as good with less employees. Yet we give the excuse to Bungie all the time, like they should, it doesn't matter that they have less employees. It'll be fine. It'll be fine next week. It'll be fine a year from now.
right.
I really don't think it's going to be fine until they get more resources.
Yeah, I think Sony's going to have to reach out and help. At least have another. I think they're going to need another smaller studio to pitch in and help with the
Remember when Destiny was the best?
yes, when they had
Forsaken. And what happened with Forsaken?
Raven Studios.
They
You
had
had
they had three
three
studios working on
studios
stuff.
from Activision.
Mhm.
Yeah, because Activision was their publisher. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, EA definitely threw a Hail Mary here with Battlefield 6, and it landed, man. I'm telling you, I can see these numbers staying pretty sticky. I mean, obviously the original numbers are going to be a lot higher, and then people start to, they start getting everything leveled up, and there's no reason to play anymore, so they move on. Or what happens is like what we did in the old Battlefield days, is we didn't really care about what was leveled up. That was something we did on our side time, but the nighttime was for our buddies to get together in a platoon and actually get in there and play every night. And it's PvP. Every game is different. You never know what jet's going to roll up on you or what guy who's really good in a tank. And we tried all night to kill this dude in his tank, and he just kept outsmarting us. And those are things you remember, man. It's just epic gameplay, and that's what I miss from Battlefield. And being that I've been playing a space shooter all these years, I actually jumped in, and for what I failed to mention, even though the private servers aren't working for some people now, they have community AI bot. They have like what they call training areas where you can go in there and shoot against bots. You don't have to have your own private server for that. And I think they put a couple players in there, but you can definitely tell where the real players are. But it's at least on training wheels where you can actually go in there and figure out what weapons are working for you. It's like and they have the shooting range and all that stuff that they've always had in that kind of game. But here's the thing, Kingsley. And I know people are tired of us me, because I'm the one that brings it to your attention, and you just ride along with me, ride or die. I know people are tired of me trying to fix the game, but I figured, you know what? If Destiny is kind of in free fall right now and they're neat ideas, things that sparked some thoughts when I was playing Battlefield 6 this weekend. Just a what if here. If I remember correctly, in Destiny 1, Trials of Osiris damn near saved that game. I remember thousands would watch and flock to Twitch every weekend just to see how their favorite creator was going to fare that week on a new map and against new players.
Didn't Taken King also kind of save the game, the expansion?
Yeah, Taken King was the turn, but remember when the Destiny story and Destiny 1 did not land well, and then you got in, what was it, the Dark Below was the first DLC, and then that's when they introduced Trials. It was the next it was the one with the Marasov and the Awoken. That's what brought in the Trials of Osiris activity. And I got to tell you, man, Trials of Osiris was such a big hit for Destiny, that the original Destiny game. I'm telling you, I would turn in and play while I was playing Destiny PvP, or working on a gun or whatever and replaying another story in Destiny 1. I would watch True Vanguard, Manigator, Grenadier Jake when he was not as big as he is now, all play against other players and other stacks of teams. And you would sit there, and it would actually make you want to try to get better at the game, because you wanted that same camaraderie. You wanted that same fun that they were having, and that same teamwork, and how good they were at making call outs and winning those matches and those rounds. it was not only rewarding for the successful players, but it gave the viewers an urge to get better and learn to play the game. That was the big takeaway there. So what if Bungie would allow us, thinking about Battlefield 6 here, being inspired by it, would allow us to not only set up a private match, but also populate it with AI bots, where you would not only level up and try different weapons and abilities, but also get credit in the power climb and whatever seasonal missions, whatever the seasonal bounties or bounties missions, whatever you call them, quests that were available in the game, as long as it pertained, of course, to Crucible. This way, more people would be inclined to jump and try PvP as they could learn the maps, generally get better at the game. I mean, all in a safe space that's not intimidating and sure as hell not full of cheaters. God damn, all the cheaters in the game right now. It is really putting a sour taste in my mouth when it comes to Crucible these days, especially on PC. Bungie, I think, really dropped the ball with the Crucible, because during these content droughts, it kept me playing the game when there was nothing left to do in the season or during that DLC story. The Crucible was so much fun to play with a group, or even just trying to learn a new weapon or ability on your own, just testing stuff out match to match. It just makes sense. And probably the most surprising feature that I want first, did you want to comment on that at all? I know you're not a PvP player,
Yeah. Well,
but if they offered something like that, would that be something that would interest you?
No, it probably would interest me, but I still think it's a good idea, because, I can be fair about stuff. The reason why I also think it's a good idea is because I would take it one step further. I mean, of course, we can give a whole laundry list of things, but even like dedicated servers, private servers, all the things you were saying, like, imagine if they had like you could spin up your own private server, but more importantly, dedicated servers.
Yes.
And, but all these things take development time, and also, who knows? There may be a reason we can't get a dedicated server at Destiny 2. Again, why you would need a new game for a dedicated server to work.
New engine.
Marathon's a new game, and they're going to have dedicated servers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not even get into comments if it'll be good or not, but that's still the fact. They're going to have dedicated servers. So imagine Destiny 3 coming out with dedicated servers. That'd be one more plus.
Be a great idea. Well, this brings me to my last point here, and then I want to hear your Ghost of Yotai. Because I know what that game's about. I've been watching some streams on it, and I have some thoughts on that too. But probably the most surprising feature I found in the Battlefield 6 games was this new portal system they created. And no, it's not the portal system we're thinking about in Destiny 2. In this system, DICE is giving full access to players to make just about anything they want in the game. I mean, anything. The devs have given full access in whatever the sandbox is, and you literally you have all the creation tools that they use to whatever you want to make in a server, you can make. Here's my point. I saw a video the other day, Kingsley, I kid you not, where a new player created a portal map that had a bunch of rusted out and blown up vending machines in a city square. And when you interacted with one of them, a mini game popped up inside the vending machine. It was a Space Invaders game in a Battlefield game. This is huge, man. Can you imagine a player created map on the Cosmodrome where a really creative person could make this super killer boss that you would just appear it's their server. They could set it up however way they wanted to, and however what density of enemies they wanted to put in there, what kinds of enemies or whatever. The creator could rent it and generate income for the studio. And all they would have to do is, if people favorited it, it was one server that they kept coming back to, they could update it every month with something new to surprise the players who really joined it and really had fun playing it. Right there, I believe, might be the future of live service games. I mean, go ahead. And I want to I want to hear what you have to say, but let's face it. How many live service games are killing it right now? I mean, I think even if you talk about the one where they kill the bugs, the one that PlayStation started, I don't know where my mind is tonight. I should have written it down, I guess.
Man.
Helldivers was definitely a fun live service game, but if you know, I've been hearing problems that they're having right now where they've had to scale it down quite a bit because they're having problems with performance issues and stuff. But my point is there's not a lot of live service games out there that are really killing it right now. And I kind of wondering, is the live service game phase of our gaming, is it starting to go away? I mean, most of them today are struggling. They're trying to sell microtransactions, but with a myriad of super smart and creative players, they alone could generate the needed content for Destiny 2. Or, I'm going to say it again into the ether, Destiny Online.
Yeah, but then that would be a live service game. That goes against your point. But I think I agree that live service games aren't necessarily the best idea anymore. But that's again why you have to take my blended approach of a live service game is only going to be good for a few years. And then you got to make the Battlefield 6.
Yes.
You got to make the
Yep.
Destiny 3 and have a new live service game if you want,
Yep.
or maybe play with the idea of it not being as live service. That's why, again, live service can kind of work, but it very, very rarely works long term. Eventually you're even going to see like a new Warframe game. That's not going to just stay the same.
There's
Warframe
actually a
game as
new
it is.
Warframe expansion just came out. Just heard about
Yeah,
it.
but I mean like an actual whole new
revamp.
like a Battlefield 6,
Gotcha.
Borderlands 4, Destiny
Gotcha.
3 idea, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then, yeah, the creative stuff obviously is a good idea. That's why games like Fortnite and Roblox do so well, because
Yeah, I was just going to mention that.
people can create things and then other people can play around in those sandboxes.
I mean, DayZ, Team Fortress, Counter-Strike, remember the Halo Forge mode? How long that created content for ages for people playing Halo, the Halo game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why these games are still around.
I would think that, I don't see any of this happening, but in a perfect world,
I know.
Destiny has PvP as a separate game. Call it Destiny PvP or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe have that live service. If you add in the ideas, like you said, of player created stuff, it could potentially go on much longer. But even a Destiny PvP live service game would have to, I would say, on every average 5 to 7 years at max, create a new version of that.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have the Destiny PvE game that you get a new one every 3 to 5 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the reason why that's a good idea is because it's kind of it ties into how these games like Ghost of Yotei is doing good, Borderlands, whatever games you like. I know the biggest reason why people don't want a Destiny 3 is because they don't want to do something new and start over, but it can only last you so long. You got to eventually graduate high school. You got to eventually go to something new. And you can't just build on the same game and get all the same abilities without sometimes making a new game. Yeah. So I understand. I totally, everyone's opinion to keep Destiny 2 without making a Destiny 3 is a valid opinion. But I think I have really good points too, that for technical reasons alone,
I knew that
they can't do what everyone wants, even if they had the resources. If they had 1 million employees, you're still going to have a better version of the game if you make a Destiny 3 versus a Destiny 2 with the same code and trying to fix everything and stuff like that. So
think about it, Kingsley. Go back to Ready Player One. What was the one thing that people loved in that world? You had all of these worlds and places you could go where players created their own content. Or created their own characters or whatever it was. And people would flock to these certain activities in that movie because they were fun. And the creator, whoever created that world, was so creative and they surprised and kept people challenged. I'm just saying this may not be a thing for Destiny 2 because Destiny 2 can't even get their own servers working. I can't even imagine them trying to lend out server time to and the server tools, the development tools to creatives. But we've been shown time after time where there's been creative people in the Destiny verse that do a better job sometimes than the devs themselves. There's people out there that can make some really cool content.
Yeah, and again, it's easy to come up with an awesome idea, but
Hmm.
then the tools that they have may be limiting that they can only do so much,
Yeah.
um,
No, maybe.
with the current stuff. So that's why we're, I mean, we see a new activity, but it's like kind of has the same feel as all the previous
Yeah.
activities because there's not really much that can be changed. Obviously, if they make, a Destiny 3, a Destiny 4, like more on this 3 to 5 year time frame,
Hmm.
I would also want them to, and they've done this with Destiny 1, so there is precedence. I would want them to not kill the other game. I mean, obviously, there wouldn't be updates still on the old games, but you could still go back and play with your old weapons, play with the old activities.
Right.
I mean, everyone knows me and a bunch of people would go back and play the Wrath of the Machine raid and Destiny 1 from time to time.
Yeah.
So you still can go back and play
Hmm.
the older stuff if you're really missing the weapons that are only in that. They brought so many weapons over from Destiny 1, Destiny 2, but there are still some weapons that are only in
It's a
Destiny
lot.
1 or raids that are only in Destiny
Mhm.
1, like Wrath of the Machine,
Well,
things like that. But
keep
yeah.
keep in mind though that this portal system is separate from the game. This is something where you have to
Oh,
go
yeah.
to. And that would have to be the
Oh, so
same
you're
way if they included it in the Destiny game. Destiny would have their
are
version
you
of the game,
thinking?
and then of course there could
Yeah.
be like a Cosmodrome 8.7 that so and so created, and instead of dregs and fallen, it's going to be Vex. The Vex have found it. In fact, the Vex are there, and you could use a bunch of the assets that are in the game, and of course, if it was Destiny Online, you could use all the assets of Destiny 1 and 2, including all the past weapons and stuff. And
Mhm.
I'm just saying it. I could possibly see this being the future of gaming because we kind of got a glimpse of it with Ready Player
Oh,
One, and with the originality of these worlds that people were going to and just delving into and living inside almost. They were so realistic.
yeah.
But
You have games that already do this.
I
Yeah.
mean, I remember,
Fortnite,
yeah, oh yeah,
Roblox.
absolutely,
Even games like No Man's Sky does it a little bit, and
yes,
other base building games where people can
yes,
come and visit your area and everything.
absolutely. I
Mhm.
didn't even think about that, but I mean that game just keeps chugging along because the developers really love their game and they love playing their game and they love seeing what other people do with their game. I remember
Well,
when I was
yeah,
on.
I wouldn't say Destiny developers don't love the game. I would just
No,
say
no,
maybe
I'm
the
not. That's a
management made
general.
bad decisions.
It's a
Yeah,
broad
yeah,
generalization. Obviously, that's probably
yeah.
not the case. I just think direction is the problem right now with Bungie. I don't know what they. I don't think they know what they want to do. And like
I
I said, this would probably not
I don't think
even.
it's that. Yeah.
No, what do you think it
I
is?
just don't think they can do much because of limited
Hands are
resources. It's
tied.
not that they
You
don't
know,
know what they.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they had something planned for after we leveled up in Portal. Maybe they had something
Mhm.
planned and they had to ditch it because they just didn't have the manpower to create it in time. Who knows? I mean, I don't
Uh,
know. It's hard
no,
to say.
yeah, they told us ahead of time that we'd be getting less content this
Yeah, I
year,
remember.
so
I
that
remember
was
that.
planned for many months ahead of time. Many
Well,
months
maybe in
ahead
the
of time,
early
they knew.
stages, maybe in the
Yeah,
early stages, they had all these grand ideas, and then they just said, "Well, this is with the power. This is the manpower we got." And then before making any public announcements about limited, we're not going to do as much. Uh, but
yeah.
but I remember on PS3, I'd play a game with my kids called Little Big Planet. It was a
Oh,
globe.
that's a fun game.
It was a
Yeah,
globe. It was 3D Mario like jumping side scroller kind of
mhm,
game. And it was super
yeah,
fun to play because you go onto any of these maps that people generated. And I mean,
mhm,
look at PP Pipes in our community who creates theme parks for players to visit and
mhm,
enjoy. And think she had like 4 or 5 thousand people jumping on one of her creations and having fun in it. Minecraft, it's been doing this for ages. I mean, think of all the mod community in Counter-Strike and Team Fortress, and DayZ
mhm.
even has a modding community. I mean, the the last thing I'll say about my experience playing Battlefield 6 this last week is that I didn't feel like there was a limited time thing. All the bounties and missions were there for the taking. I could complete them when I wanted to. Um, I haven't even delved into the portal system like I just mentioned, but I really can see a lot of people laughed at this. They thought this would just be a joke, just some kind of side thing. But what I'm seeing in the creative communities as far as what they're putting in a Battlefield game, I don't know how you play this mini game, by the way, without getting shot or killed. But anyway, that's beside the point. But the fact that it's on the map in the game, it just blew me away, man. That just totally opened my mind, and I got to thinking about it. I said, I never mentioned this as far as Destiny, the Destiny game, that people could make their own worlds based on a geographic area, but maybe put different things in those worlds. That would just take a lot of load off the Bungie studio. If they did come out with like a Destiny Online and not a Destiny 3, and they incorporated something like this, it would literally be a playground for Destiny players. I think it would, I don't think people would ever get tired of playing it, because there was so much other versions of the game out there that people create. And, but once I saw that example, I was like, man, I didn't even know they could do that kind of stuff. I thought it may be maybe like everyone's got to use knives. It's it's, that Call of Duty game where once you stab someone, they become you, and games like that. But, it's like EA made the game and said, here, play the game. You're not seeing anything about season passes. You're not seeing any microtransaction storefronts. And EA is going to eventually be EA. They're going to incorporate it somehow down the road, especially with a new ownership now.
Yeah. I was going to ask, they still have some plans for this to be a mini live service game, right?
Yes. They're going to have a battle royale. I don't know, but I think they might have an extraction shooter even built in. I'm not sure. They're going to have some kind of battle royale extraction type game.
Long-term roadmap or of what's coming.
I bought the 30 Still Gaming is going to kill me, but I did buy the one that included the season passes in the future, because I just tell me what you're going to have in the game. I'll buy it, and I don't want to be nickel and dime the rest of the year. I'm going to pay this price. I know for the whole year I'm covered.
Look,
kind of thing.
I'm even slightly interested in getting the game now. I mean, I have so many other things on my list.
It's so hectic.
I wouldn't do it for I'm not interested in the competitive PvP stuff, but if you're saying there's a lot of maps that people create that I can just playground in and have fun, then
even
maybe,
even that you could create your own server. You could populate it with bots, or you can go to the community training.
I don't like creating stuff myself though.
No, that's fine. You can do that. You can do that. What you do is when you have your own server, you just make it password protected. That way, no one can enter it without knowing the password. Mm-hmm. You tell all your friends, hey, use this password and you can jump in my thing anytime.
Oh, and then they can do stuff or whatever.
That's how they regulate it. But where there's people aren't just crashing your party all the time. But the last thing I want to mention, and I think this is what's lacking in Destiny 2 right now. And this isn't a knock against the story, because I think the story teams in Destiny and Bungie and Destiny 2 and the raid teams are killing it right now. I love the prophecy. I love this new prophecy era. I really love the campaign. I really enjoyed all the flashbacks, the 60s vibes, all of that. But then it was like, shunk, go to the portal. After you're done playing it, it's like the curtain comes down, and now you've seen the wizard. Now you just got to go play these portals and start grinding away. And I'm like, whoa, man,
the story can only carry it so far.
I understand that. I understand. But here's the point I wanted to make, because this ties into Ghost of Yotai. I haven't played it, but I've been watching people play it. And the thing, I'm not going to give away anything here, but the thing I think that makes Ghost of Yotai so good is, in the story, something happens to somebody where they're transgressed upon and they want to seek revenge. And the whole game revolves around this revenge. And the point I'm making here, and I'm not spoiling the story, the point I'm making here is that there is an overlying motivation to get through the game and finish the game because you want that revenge. It's lacking right now in Destiny 2. We had the witness, the light versus dark. We had that one vision, that one thing that we were always trying to reach for. And once we finally reached it and the witness got killed, it's like the episodes just really didn't set us up well. But there was really nothing left that was driving us and motivating us story-wise to keep playing forward. And I really hope they have something in Renegades that's going to turn that around. I'm keeping all my expectations at a basal level now, because I realize when I saw Edge of Fate, the portal, you see, when they talked about the portal system, I thought they said that when they talked about solo ops, I thought there'd be a drop-down menu where I could play all of the past strikes. Wherever I wanted to play it, whatever past strike, click that strike. Oh, Glassway, boom. Glassway strike. I'm going to go play Glassway solo. and now I'm gonna go kick butt. Things I've always wanted to do is play strike
Maybe you
solo.
never listen to me.
I know. I just, I hear what I want to hear, I guess. I'm hard headed when it comes to that. But that's when they talked about Portal. You said you were getting all excited about it. That's what I was envisioning in my head. And that's what I think they were trying to put in our heads, inadvertently even, is the fact that I could play anything in the past game. But it's just the opposite. They have shrunk the game down to these core activities in the Portal, and everything else that made Destiny beautiful is irrelevant.
Yeah.
That's what kills me right now.
With the Portal, the only thing I got excited about was the user interface look of it.
It's very
But
nice.
I was always kind of expecting there to not be a lot of content. So I kind of knew that from even way back.
That's just sad. It's too bad. It's too bad because the system works. Like I told you, when Edge of Fate first came out, all I could think about was getting home to grind. I wanted to get those tier 3, 4s, and 5 power loot stuff. I wanted to get that better gear. And
While you're taking a drink real quick,
and then once
I do want to say one other. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And then once I got to the power grind, I got a little disillusioned. My point was. But what were you going to say? What were you going to say?
That I even cared about that.
Yeah.
Luckily, the power grind didn't affect me, so I was no more disillusioned.
Yeah.
When Edge of Fate came out. But one thing real quick, and I know this is mostly bringing back to Destiny right now, but story is important if there can be. I mean, if you think about how much story is in Ghost of Yotai compared to the Kepler,
Yeah.
I would say it's like 20 times as much story.
Of course.
And of course, it's not a fair comparison because it's a single player game. They worked on it for years.
Yes.
But that's why, it's good to have this from time to time in Destiny land also.
And keep in mind too, Mike, when you play the end and you're done, other than maybe coming back and playing it on a harder mode, the game's played through. It's done. You're on to the next game.
Well, yeah, and then I go to another great game.
Exactly. But that's the difference.
Yeah, you can't
Destiny
expect
is
one
on
game to always be perfect forever. Now, I do want to say real quick, just because we were bringing up Ghost of Yotai again, boy, I still think Expedition 33 just barely edges it out for Game of the Year.
Really?
But boy, this is a close second place for Game of the Year.
It seems like a fun game.
Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah, when I found out how the game started, I was like, whoa.
Oh, that's nothing. If they have like bombshell after bombshell drop as you get through the story. Every time you're like, wait, that happened, and that was even better than the first thing. Oh, wait, that happened.
Yeah,
that was crazier than the last thing.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
but there's something driving you to you want to get to the end. It's the book you're reading that you want to see how it ends. You know.
I mean, it does drive me, but more that's kind of like a close second. I'm having fun exploring everything. And what they do too about and I saw this in the Division a lot too. If Destiny had more things that they would promise with like the open world stuff, like truly changing and evolving. They even do this in Ghost of Yote somewhere. The way the enemies are walking around and the NPCs are walking around are slightly different and variable each time. In Destiny's patrol spaces, people may think the ad spawns are variable, but they really aren't. They're just variable on the timing, but they're kind of in the same spots,
Right. I get that.
But I find it really interesting because every little thing I'm doing in Ghost of Yote is meaningful and interesting. Like I go up to a bamboo strike, and normally I'd be like, oh, I just want to do the side quests and the mission first, but I'm getting more distracted in this game doing things than almost any other game I ever have, because Division 2 was like that a lot too, because there's like, oh, this, and me, I don't get distracted easily, but like I'm having fun getting distracted by every little thing is kind of meaningful to do. um every little thing gives you a huge like piece of armor or a mask or an upgrade on something or this or that. You're not going to run into a situation. Now I know looter shooters have to be a little bit different. They need to have lower tier gear too, but you're not running into a situation where you're doing something on patrol in Destiny and you're like uh you know the once you've done, even if it's a new experience, you're like, for the people that do like the loot, you're like, wait, that was a fun experience, but like nothing cool came out of that at the end. I didn't get
Right.
anything. I'm talking to you now, even though this doesn't appeal to me as
You know,
much. What in Ghost of Yote, every little side experience you do is worth it. There's
right.
some cool thing that you get.
There's a payback. Yeah, it's a reward. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we're gamers. We want to get something for our time. We invest in it. It could be entertainment. It can be actual physical loot. It could be whatever we're looking for in that game.
Well, it's best when it's
Yeah.
both, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because I understand that people want loot more than I do, and I want
Yeah.
the entertainment more. But when you can do both together, it's not like I don't want the loot. It's not like I get
Sure.
it away, but
Right.
like I don't. That doesn't drive me. So it's like when it's both together that are good, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a great conversation,
Good
Kingsley.
discussion.
I appreciate
Mhm.
you indulging. I mentioned it to you this week, and you're like, man, we keep talking about the same thing. We keep talking about how we're going to fix
Well,
Destiny. I said, well, yeah, but
this was
this time around, I was inspired.
different
I got
enough.
some new
Yeah.
ideas,
I
and
was a little skeptical at first, but like this
yeah,
was a great conversation.
I think it was too. I think it was too. Definitely
Yeah.
for sure. Okay,
Mhm.
I think we have one question from our community, and then we have our question of the week. We'll do that right after this. Yeah, that was a good conversation, man. Thanks for indulging me on that because
Yeah.
I know you tried to keep me on the rails. I was going off a little bit, off in the netherworld, but yeah. I'm going to mention the question first because I think that one question that's being asked tonight can actually create another conversation. So I think it'll be plenty for this segment. So I'm keeping it on the time here. All right, here we go.
Yeah, and this is one thing. While we're not, this isn't
Yeah,
the main, not the main show right now, but like
right.
even less people voted this week. It's like it kind
It's
of
okay.
shows like the people that no, that is okay, of course, but
Yeah,
it kind of shows that it's not really fair. You're not going to get a lot of people saying the game is cooked because most of those people have stepped away, so they don't even see
they
the
don't even
question.
care.
You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
mean, and I'll
Yeah,
mention that too. That it is a bias. We
yeah,
are a Destiny community, so obviously it's going to be a little biased. But I was actually
yeah,
surprised by some of the answers. So okay, here
yeah.
we go. All right, for our final segment of the show, this is where we get our questions from you guys. And we have one question by Kilvin in our Discord podcast questions channel. And he says, as a player that's only been around for a couple years, I would like your perspectives. So much talk right now about how this is the lowest player count ever, even below Curse of Osiris. For you two that played through that expansion, how does your gameplay experience now compare to what it was back then? Is the game more or less fun, engaging, and challenging for you now? And if it has changed for you, is that because of the changes in the game or changes in the community? It's a great question. Very insightful question. Um,
Mhm.
do you want to jump on this first? You want me
You
to?
should go first.
Okay.
Yeah, you go first.
Um,
Yeah, I'm thinking about it a little bit.
see, Kingsley and I have been pretty much here since the beginning. And as you can see, the cyclical peaks and valleys when Destiny releases DLCs or expansions, it starts on a high and then it sinks down to a low. And it's just very cyclical how the Destiny game is. And that's by design, unfortunately, because that's the way Destiny keeps this live service experience
Yeah, but
going.
do try to be fair though. Each high is getting lower and lower each time, and each low is
Oh,
getting lower
the
and lower each
the
time.
the
Also,
the stats don't lie. It's definitely the peaks
yeah.
are definitely a lot lower, a lot lower. So yeah,
Mhm.
people are, I think I mentioned this a long time ago. When people don't even care enough to even have a comment about the game, that's when Bungie needs to worry. Because that's when it's not even in their mind anymore and they're not playing and they probably aren't going to come back unless there's something new
Mhm.
coming out. So
Yeah,
apathy is the enemy of the live service game. It's not negativity. It's not positivity. And
very true.
I think Kimmy Cakes even talked about toxic positivity. I still don't understand that term. It must be a Gen
I
Z
can
thing.
explain it.
Because
Yeah,
we try to stay positive. In fact, there's other Destiny podcasts that are still out there today that try to keep a positive spin on
yeah.
on
No,
the Destiny verse, and I
yeah.
don't consider that toxic positivity or what do you
No,
call
no,
it?
no. Ours isn't. No, no,
Yeah.
ours isn't. What toxic positivity is apologizing for things and then not letting people also. It's a two part, and not letting people give what you would consider a negative opinion. You have to be
Uh,
fair. So like
I see.
toxic positivity means other people aren't allowed to have a negative
Oh, okay.
opinion.
I get
That's what
that.
toxic
I get
positivity
that. I
is.
could see that
So
sometimes. Yeah.
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 And some people are that way. See,
Right.
I like to be fair. I think anyone who wants to have a positive opinion needs to have that right. But then
Right.
also people that don't like something that's happening in the game needs to have that right also.
Absolutely.
You have to be fair. If you don't want people to say like, oh, you can't be positive about the game, then you have to say, well, you're allowed to be negative about the game too. So
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly.
now negative doesn't mean we never want to have discussions in the Discord where people are being very like using harsh words or disregarding people's opinions or being just a negative
Mutual
person. But as far
respect.
as opinions on the game,
Yes.
that's we have to allow positive
Yes.
opinions, and
It's
then of
mutual
course
respect.
yeah,
You have to
yeah, it's
respect
mutual
each
respect. Yeah.
opinion, whether you agree with it or not. Man, boy, could our world use a little bit of that
So
right now.
there is such a thing as toxic positivity, but I
Okay.
wouldn't say it's us. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I never thought of us when he mentioned that,
Yeah.
but I know there's other podcasts out there that really never. Oh, they definitely get negative, I guess, but they I don't know. They kind of see the bright side of the game, and I think that's a great thing because that's what their podcast is about. Is it's a Destiny podcast, so we want to. I mean, if we were all doom and gloom and saying, I'm not playing anymore. Are you playing anymore? Nope. Yeah, this game sucks. Yeah. Who wants to listen to that shit? Who wants to hear a podcast about that? No, we want to hear a podcast about things we're looking forward to doing or how maybe we can make it
Well, again,
better.
it's not that simple. If we weren't playing it, then we wouldn't be having the podcast. We'd
You're
be
right.
stepping away.
You're
So,
right. That's true. That's true
so
too.
it is okay. Again, okay to
Yeah.
talk about the things we don't like in the game and
Yeah.
not think it's a negative podcast.
Yeah.
And it's good to talk about the things we like in the game and not think it's a positive only podcast.
Okay.
So, yeah.
To answer Kilvin's question, this is the best way I can,
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get back
it's the
to
best
that.
way I can phrase it. Back then, even in the dark times when content wasn't landing as well, the thought really never crossed my mind that Destiny could end. But today, there is actually a thought that maybe Bungie could close down the game. It's a possibility now. Because, like I mentioned earlier, with the Light and Dark saga, that kept us going for so long. Even when the content wasn't that fun, we still wanted to know what was this winnower? What was this gardener and winnower? What are we talking about there, And then we come to find out that it has something to do with the witness and how it's not dark and light. It's just two powers that have to be in yin and yang, basically. They have to coexist for the worlds to work. But today, if you were to ask me what is the main storyline and what am I, what are we attempting to do? I can't answer that question. I honestly can't. It's just a grind fest right now. It's all about getting great loot. But what are we getting great loot for if there's nothing to jump in and look forward to playing or kicking butt in whatever stories are coming out down the road? If the game is just going to meander along, the loot doesn't even matter. You have to have both items. You have to have the rewards that, value people's time in the game. And then you got to give them a reason to jump in and play with those rewards. And this is there again, I'll come back to it, why Bungie really dropped the ball with Crucible. And I realize all of their Crucible team is over there in Marathon. And I really hope Marathon does well. I do. I really hope it does. And I'm going to try it. I'm going to try the game. I did sign up for the technical beta test. I don't know if they'll contact me or not. I don't care either way. But a lot of people signed up for it, which tells me that people still have hope in Destiny or hope in the Bungie franchise and the Bungie studios. So, yeah, that's my big difference right now, Kilvin, is back then I could see no wrong, really. I just knew that they were that the story didn't land as well as it did. But now I'm wondering, like maybe Bungie is right now, where are we going? Where are we going from here? I would love to see that whiteboard, I'd like to see that whiteboard on where they're extending things out, after Renegades. That's what I'd really like to know.
So would you say though, and maybe you don't want to answer this, but did you have more fun back then or more fun now?
I always have fun in Destiny, and like I mentioned
See, you don't
earlier,
want to answer it.
well, like I mentioned earlier, when the story got stale, or when I ran the campaign, and I remember people would be done with the Warmind campaign, the Warmind DLC in 3 weeks. People had their hands up, going, "What am I going to do now? There's nothing to play. Why should I be here? There's nothing to play." Even with the activity they had on Mars, people only played it a little bit. People got bored of it quick. Should have been a clue to them right then that the seasonal activities don't stick as much as long as you think they will. But I always jumped to Crucible. I always jumped into Iron Banner. Even played Trials from time to time, or even just a Tuesday night, everybody get drunk playing Control type of night. Those nights really are just as fun, Kingsley, as we playing that Desert Perpetual raid the other night. It's the same fun level. But now it's like, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. I